to get the wrong idea. I sympathize. I mean, a lot of innocent people died. The CIA trained the pilots that flew the planes. War is a game like chess, and innocent people get caught in the crossfire. Billions are spent on military defense, satellites and global intelligence, and it don't make no sense. If we take 70% from the rich in taxes, 40% from the working class in taxes, spend the money on education, healthcare, homes for the homeless, jobs for the unemployed, the crime rate will decline. Time for us to start using our minds. America needs reform, social democracy to replace capitalism. Feed the poor, shelter the homeless, and create jobs. It's simple.
I live my life in a city, overfilled with crime, intoxicated with pity, suspended in time. Every day it's a struggle between life and death. Gotta juggle with fate before my last breath. It's a test, my only quest to beat the odds. So I hold my own when times are hard. I was dealt bad cards, born broke and poor. The lack of food in my gut got me hungry for more. Growing up in the hood, watching the sunset. A gray cloud over my head follows my every step. They say life is a gift, so be happy to live. But life in the ghetto is too negative. Drama in the streets, I can't sleep, I'm hearing gunshots. Flying bullets be making bodies drop. My neighborhood is full of crooks with bad looks. Smoking weed, clocking cheese, living like wild G's. DC is giving birth to killers. Baby mothers on welfare and drug dealers. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want no racist war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Love, peace, war, and hate. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want George Bush's war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Love, peace, war, and hate. Born alone, die alone. God set me free from this world of agony. Ain't no love in the streets. Another murder occurred. Another brother got shot. Died from one to the dome. Outlined in chalk. Brotherly love is needed. I see our future depleted when brothers die in the line of crossfire. So many mothers cry, feel the pain of a lost one. Only 21. Tell us what should we do? It's on you. Young, black, and thuggin'. This ain't living. My road dog doing 5 in prison. And I miss them. Gotta follow my vision to keep from going under. We all numbers doing time on the block. Ducking the cops. Take a look in my eyes. Tell me, what do you see? The future is dark and we don't have a clue. Mr. Bush, please open your ears and listen. It's a war going on. America is a prison. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want no racist war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Love, peace, war, and hate. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want no racist war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Love, peace, war, and hate. 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 It's the city of politics and phony smiles. Politicians run a game on the low profile. It's the home of the president and first lady. Maybe Bill didn't fuck Monica. Do you think so? I don't know, but to me it's a shame. So many lives being sold for profit and gain. And I dwell on the south side, 4th and L. Living here, watching my people make crack sales. Willie bow tie is shutting us down. So we rally for the hospital, holding it down. Population control, steady holding us down. So we rally for the homeless, shutting them down. I remember Gary Graham, so I'm kicking the facts. Ain't no love for Bush, cause he killing all blacks. Come on, what's going on in the nation's cap? 30% homeless, hopeless, and most of them black. 2001 was a hectic year. Demonstrations and protests. Power to the people with guns. Fight back, take back, stand up, move up, rise up, stand up, take back, fight back, take back, stand up, move up, rise up, stand up, take back, fight back. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want no race. 5, 6, 7, 8. Love.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well this evening, this Saturday, the 29th, October, 2023. It's been an interesting weekend. The time is 8:06 a.m. EU Central European Time, and I believe it's still the 28th. It should be the 28th. What is it? 7 p.m. 7:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, let me see something real quick. Get this off of the screen so we can go. And today we're going to have a fun conversation, actually. And the conversation is about what it says it's about. It's about world war. World war. Can y'all see that? World war. Tanks and all that stuff. Governments getting ready, planning, strategizing. And it seems like it's kicking off in Israel. It's been there. It's been happening. I mean, it seems to pop up every few years, but it seems to get sharp every 4 years, maybe a little more sharper with each presidential election, maybe with a new president, maybe one more big act, or or maybe a bigger one in 8 years. Who knows? But it seems like this has been the biggest one so far. Let me see here. And it doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon this time. So let me bring up a little bit of what I've been watching here. Yeah, we can switch over here. Let me see. Go to the Israeli-Palestinian war. Right? We actually talked about this maybe a week ago. Exactly a week ago. And yeah, this is like some of the more recent ones. But let's see here. Is it this one? Today? Right now? Let's go there. Let's see. Let me put the disclaimer up first. Let me see here. Disclaimer. There we go. Boom. Shut that down. See what happens here. And today we're asking the question. It's a simple question. And that question is, what if it kicks off tomorrow? Then what? How will things go down? Um, is it possible things could go down like what happened in Ukraine? When you saw the war kick off in the Ukraine, you saw some states taking action. A lot of states took action, but one interesting aspect of the Ukrainian war, which is pretty much overlooked, but it shouldn't be, especially for, you could say, PADs, and that is what happened. How did all the people get along at that time when they were fleeing Ukraine, when there was a war? How smoothly did that go? And so we're going to ask some questions like that.
VB.
Yo, Jade, what's up?
Yeah, what's happening, bro? Is this live? Is this live? Is this live here? Is this live footage we're seeing?
I don't think so. Some of it's live. No, it's not live. They're just
Okay.
rerunning it. It was live though.
Yeah. That looks like the Iron Dome is in full effect there, because Israel has a Iron Dome.
Yeah, missile defense system.
As Israel and Hamas descend further into war, the prospects for a broader Israeli-Palestinian peace deal seem further away than ever. But 30 years ago, that peace appearing on the cusp after decades of conflict.
In May of 1948, a new Jewish state, Israel, was born in a bath of blood.
Neighboring Arab states launching a war against Israel after it was founded. The international community envisioning a Palestinian state too, but Israel fighting with Arab countries in conflicts like the Six-Day War and Yom Kippur War, alongside clashes with Palestinians, preventing that state from fully emerging. One of Israel's fiercest soldiers in those years, Yitzhak Rabin, growing into a warrior of peace after being re-elected prime minister in 1992.
Rabin spent many years in the Israeli Defense Forces. He knew the cost of war better than most.
Rabin opening a door to negotiations with Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat's Palestinian Liberation Organization, or PLO. At that time, the PLO designated a terrorist group by the United States, and a tumultuous Palestinian uprising called the First Intifada in full swing. After months of preliminary talks, Rabin reluctantly met Arafat in Washington.
Bill Clinton had to coach him along and say, I know this isn't easy. I know this has been your enemy for a long, long time, but here's our opportunity, and we should grab it.
The two, once bitter adversaries, shaking hands, and their delegations signing the Oslo Accord.
Enough of blood and tears. Enough.
The difficult decision we reached together was one that required great and exceptional courage.
The PLO would recognize Israel's right to exist, and Israel would begin transitioning control of the Gaza Strip and the West Bank to Palestinians. The deal, just the beginning for Rabin. Israel signed a peace treaty with Jordan in 1994, and another Oslo Accord with Arafat in 1995.
What could be the most promising step yet toward peace in the Arab lands that Israel has occupied since the 1967 war.
That November, Rabin speaking at a giant rally for peace in Tel Aviv. But just as he left the stage, tragedy.
4 or 5 shots rang out and Rabin collapsed into the arms of his security men.
Rabin killed not by a Palestinian, but by a 24-year-old Israeli extremist who opposed the peace process. A blood-stained paper found in his jacket pocket. On it, lyrics of Shir LaShalom, or a song for peace. One he sang on stage just moments before his death. In the days following, a national moment of silence.
At 2 o'clock this afternoon, the city of Jerusalem ground to a halt.
Rabin's death shocking the world.
The world has lost one of its greatest men, a warrior for his nation.
Think about how long this has been going on. This has been going on for what? This is damn near what? I mean, how many years is this literally? This one issue. Oh my goodness. Let me look this up. I'm sorry. 1948, basically. That's what it is. 1948, and it's 2023 now. That's a lot of time. That's 70 years. Something like that. And it's still not solved. It's still not solved. I'm not I'm not laughing because I think it's funny, but it's like that just goes to show you this thing can go on for another 100 years the way it's going. If nobody if nobody dies out, I mean, and that's just so sad. It may never stop. What's up, Love Me Fruit? Hey, a bit tired. Yeah, Jade is in the house. Uh oh my goodness. Donnie was up there earlier. Tar and Shaka, what's up? Yo, this is 70 years almost. Around 70 some years, 60 some years. That's a lot of time. And for some reason, this conflict, it holds significant, it's very significant. It's very important in the global politic. I mean, you even hear like South Africa, even Mandela, supported Palestine. That's how global it is for people that just come out of apartheid and become a state, support Palestine. That shows you that is very significant and to to people, right? But why do y'all think it's so significant? What do you think about this conflict that makes it so like the one that could kick off everything else? Because if you notice, people see other wars, but this one seems like this war can quickly include a lot of people for some reason. Afghanistan didn't seem like that. It seemed like Afghanistan, everybody knew it was going to be mostly Afghans and then maybe outside people helping bring in weapons here and there or support. It's a very continuous area. It holds Judaism, Muslim, and Christian holy sites. But Jay, do you think that it's the holy sites? Do you think that's what it is? Like to the average person, are they really fighting over this? And of course, other people, the people that fund these groups, they don't really care about these holy sites, do they? I mean, do you think they do? I wonder myself. Let me drop the link in case somebody want to pop up. But let's get this conversation happening. I mean, if World War IV or III, like Todd said, it could be III or World War IV, whichever you think, if it kicked off, where would we be in that picture? Let's say the economies crash. Let's say all hell hits loose. Think of Ukraine when, the world responded well to Ukraine, but there was one group of people that didn't fare so great. Who was that group of people? It was our people trying to get on the train, and when things got really tough, that's all of a sudden when you figure out who didn't matter, right? That's a real scary reality. And so the question we're asking today is, what if it does kick off? Let's say the U.S. economy crashes. Yeah, there'll be welfare. Yeah, there'll be food, government assistance. Yeah, there'll be all those things, soup kitchen, all that stuff, right? There'll be a lot of stuff if the economy crashes. If, something happens, world war happens, there'll be those programs. But do you think everybody's going to be treated equally in that? How fair do you think any group of diaspora will be? What about in the USA, diaspora in the USA? How well off would they be in that crisis situation? And FEMA kicks in and all of this stuff. I mean, I'm not saying I go for all of these conspiracy notions, and I'm not against them. I'm not for them necessarily. I like to look at all the options, all the ideas, but just right now, just off of what is real right now. If an emergency kicked off, if World War IV kicked off, where do you think, for example, African Americans will be in the emergency line? Would you think all of a sudden some places they wouldn't be able to go because you got people that just there ain't enough, or we got to have it first, this other group got to have it first, or What do you think is going to happen in that? And also, I wonder about Europe too, because what would happen to the diaspora in Europe if the economy crashes, everything goes into war? I mean, to me, when I see the economy crashes, I see like less jobs, maybe, right? If it's prolonged, if it's more than 2 years, 3 years, like there's definitely going to be some economic job losses, because Western countries sell a lot of products, and those products that they sell create a lot of jobs. But if if supplies are low and buyers are low, then what? Somebody's gotta take the short end of the stick. How, who, and how? Yeah, Jade, I see what you're saying. We will suffer them. I mean, I wonder. And then to open it up after we get some input on this first question, right? On this thing that I put out there, then I just want to ask the next question, which was really originally my first question, which is this one. Let me see here. If the inevitable happens, where is it at? Oh, okay. I see. I gotta upload it. That didn't upload. That's funny. Let me see here. If that didn't upload, then where is it at? What is this? Is this it? No, that's not it. Let me see here. This it? Oh, here we go. Right here. Two seconds. All right, so let's see here. Let me try to add this again one more time. Sorry about that, y'all. One little delay. Hello. Why is this not working right? There. Yeah. I'm having a little technical difficulty, y'all. 2 seconds. Just bear with me. If this doesn't work, I'm going to have to call it up in another way. Let me do it the other way then, since that's going to be like that. So, yeah. This up. This one. So. Right. All right. Let me try it this way. Sorry about that, y'all. We can do it like this. I'll open it up this way, and then out. Boom. Here we go. All right. So let me call the map up real quick. And I wanted to ask you all now. Sorry about that delay. I had a little something that's acting up on my computer. But let's say we zoom out, right? Let's say we zoom all the way out. And here we go. This is the globe. Can y'all see this? Yeah, y'all can see this now. And let's say this thing kicks off and it goes beyond this territory here, the Middle East. not even the Middle East. Let's say it kicks off past this conflict that we're seeing right here on the West Bank, and in Israel and Palestine. What do y'all think is the most likely thing that could happen? What do you think could kick this off and make it go past Israel and Palestine? I'm just curious about that. Like, what are the ongoing theories? I mean, we talked about this before. As a matter of fact, let me just get Afemi over here too. I didn't even tell him. Let me just make sure he gets the message here. Sometimes you take people for granted and think everybody's going to be available at one time, but it's not always the case. Oh, right. Yeah. And I also wanted to let people know, remind people that tomorrow is my guest, James Amolo. Let me see what, here we go. Let me see here. And I think, okay, so he'll get the message here. Yeah, tomorrow is my guest, actually, James Amolo, who is the author of this book, y'all. This one. And he's going to be here tomorrow, 2 a.m., something like that. Noon to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA. He's going to be here, and that's 6 to 7 p.m. roughly, Central European Time. James Amolo is going to be my guest, so everybody who's in the house, stop on through so you can get a word out from him on his book. And the conversation we're going to be having tomorrow is about Black Europeans. Are they acknowledged, and how well are they acknowledged in the law? But in any case, back to this episode. What's up, Jade?
Yeah, what's up, bro? Sorry, I'm gonna turn my TV down. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you good?
Yeah, I kept getting kicked off. I don't know, but I think this link might work better.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Okay. No worries. What do you think about this, man?
Yeah. Well, you see, my fear,
Oh, he just got kicked off again. It's the internet. Yeah, maybe the internet is not doing too well today in all places. Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe Jade will hop. I'm sure he's gonna hop back up. Let me drop the link again just in case he have some trouble finding it. And boom, there we go. Yeah, and so we're asking the question, what if? What happens? What happens? What is it looking like right now? Jade, you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why it keeps shutting down.
No worries. But what's your thoughts, man? You were about to say something.
Right, yeah, sorry. Well, my fear is because Egypt and Israel had a fight as well, because you had the Arab-Israeli war. So we've already seen a war in that region. And Israel gave Egypt a spanking, and
oh man, Jade. Oh my goodness. He fell out, man. That's unfortunate. Maybe he'll hop back up. Who knows? But yeah, I guess he was about to talk about the past war and with Egypt and Israel, how the last war, how the last regional conflict went down that Israel was part of. Yeah, that seemed to have some. From what I heard of it, it seemed like it was a stalemate, and people underestimated the Israeli military at that time. But I don't know how realistic that is. But maybe that's a good place to start. Let's see here. Let's go back. Egyptian Israeli war. Now let's see, 1973. Let me just that's coming up right here. Well, let's see here. Right. Let me go to this one here. I gotta stay off of some of these networks. Here we go. Let me pop this up on the screen now. See. Stop this one. We can always go back to that. Let's see. Here we go.
It is an all-out war. That's how Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Dayan describes an invasion of the Golan Heights and the east bank of the Suez by Syria and Egypt. The surprise attacks came early this morning in the air and on the ground. The Egyptians apparently have taken control of at least a portion of the east bank of the Suez. Dayan says it would take several days to drive them out of there, attributing the initial Egyptian successes to the thin line of Israeli defenses in that area. Egypt maintains it has taken control of the entire beach. On the Golan Heights, Syria claims it has taken some Israeli positions, but Israel says the Syrian attack now has been brought under control. As usual, there are conflicting reports on the casualties. Moshe Dayan called Israeli casualties reasonable. Egypt announced that it had lost 10 planes, but that it shot down 11 Israeli planes. Everyone agrees that this is the most serious fighting in the area since the Six-Day War of 1967, and that it developed rapidly. David Burrington reports on the mobilization in Tel Aviv.
All day today, Israeli reservists have been heading for their units. The streets have been full of military traffic. In fact, the big call-up started last night. Arab forces had been building up for 10 days, and intelligence indicated an attack was imminent.
This is 1973.
Israel could have struck first and gained the advantage, but this time the Israelis decided to wait. There's been no panic here, but people were uneasy and angry, especially angry that Arab armies would attack on this day, Yom Kippur, the most holy Jewish day. Newscasts told of heavy fighting, but details were hard to come by. The army did disclose that 8 big Egyptian helicopters had been shot down with more than 200 casualties. Fighting very heavy on both fronts. Throughout Israel, there have been frequent air raid warnings today, the first time the sirens have sounded for real since the Six-Day War. Their wailing, in fact, was the first indication the Arabs had attacked. The sirens set off by Syrian MiGs striking across the Golan Heights. Generally, Israelis spend this holy day in the synagogue, but today many of them spent it in a bomb shelter. During one of the alerts, the Israeli cabinet was in emergency session. Tonight, Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Dayan agreed Egypt had gained 2 beachheads in Sinai and that Arab forces would undoubtedly get reinforcements through the night. Syrian tanks had also crossed the frontier. But once the Israeli army was up to strength, he said, the Israeli soldier would push them back. David Burrington, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
President Nixon has instructed Secretary of State Henry Kissinger to contact all parties involved in the fighting and try to arrange for a ceasefire. The president is keeping track of developments in the Middle East from his Key Biscayne, Florida home, and there are now indications that he'll return to Washington tomorrow. The resumption of the war in the Middle East is a serious setback of plans the president and Secretary Kissinger had for developing a new climate of peace in that part of the world. Richard Valeriani has a report.
Secretary Kissinger had planned to spend a quiet, private weekend in New York, but the Middle East crisis forced him to rush back to Washington. He spoke briefly with newsmen as he left.
We've told you everything that we can say. I'm in close touch with the president. If we have anything to say later in the day.
You know, but what pops in my mind is like, there's been so much time and energy put into this one conflict. I mean, this one conflict has had the world's attention for decades. 1973. This is 50 years ago. Just with this war, this is not. I don't even think it is. It started in. Yeah, it must have been 73. Let me see something. Let me just double check. I just read something here. Yeah, it did start in 73. Okay, so that's 50 years exactly. Yom Kippur, and I believe there might have been some conflicts that led up to this. I need to research this Israeli-Palestine conflict a little more, but But because it's been quite some time, and you kind of take for granted your own memory at times, yeah, bro. Hey, let me ask you something. This Yom Kippur, this wasn't the first conflict though, right? Was this the first
No,
major conflict, or was there one right before this one?
who between Israel and Palestine, or in that area?
Between Egypt, Israel, Syria, Jordan, right? Who was involved? They all three of those countries were involved in this one.
Yeah, that was the that's I think that's their fear. What it was, you had the Arab-Israeli war after the UK and America sent the new state of Israel. I think there was Israelis there before, but when they were sent there and then they started to take over certain
What was
areas
it
of
called?
land.
It was called the American what? What'd you call it again?
It was the Arab-Israeli
I'm
wars.
sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Arab,
Exactly. Yeah.
yes, the Arab-Israeli war.
So it was 19. Okay, was it 1948?
Yeah,
So
it was
this was
just
the
after the Second World
right.
War,
Exactly. That's why I can't play that. That's exactly okay. Okay, here we
right?
go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So at that time, I suppose I could look up. I'll open up a page and then I can do a bit more.
Yeah, you
Arab.
can do that.
Is that
Yeah.
all right?
The tragedy in law.
Go ahead.
Just to help you out, the Arab-Israeli war. I'll just get so I can get a my Wikipedia up.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as I'm aware, it caused some problems down there. I'm not sure. I think so it was a civil war in mandatory Palestine as the second and final stage of the 1948 Palestinian War.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the end of the British mandate for Palestine at midnight on the 14th of May 1948.
Mm-hmm.
And the Israeli Declaration of Independence had been issued earlier that day, and a military coalition of Arab states entered the territory of British Palestine in the morning of 15th of May.
Mm-hmm.
So where I was talking about where Egypt, to me, is going to be the major factor, because right now they got the aid trucks coming across the border from Egypt. Who's to tell that they're not just, they haven't, it's not an aid truck, but when you take the four sides off, it's a massive rocket. You
Right.
see,
Yeah,
so
you don't know.
obviously, because the problem is Egypt have never got over that defeat. It was such a horrible defeat, as in Egypt has got such a massive army. At the time Sadat was ruling Egypt, I think he was the last, I suppose he was an Arab, but his skin was a dark-skinned Arab. Nubian. I think he was a Nubian. I would have said he was a black man. And he was murdered after by the military, if we all remember, the assassination of Sadat.
Yeah.
And I think that was down to the embarrassment of losing against a far smaller army. And also, Israel basically doubled the land size and also secured a border along to Egypt, along the Sinai Peninsula.
Yeah.
And also the big dogs in that area is Iran. And we all know Iran is a Muslim country and support the military terrorist group deemed by the West as Hamas as one of their brothers.
Right.
So we've already seen strikes in Syria by the United States, which is quite a major.
What about Hezbollah?
Right. So yeah, they're Hezbollah.
Also Hezbollah.
That's the group in Iran which is like Hamas. So it's like the war faction, and they've been accused of all kinds of things. And so we have Iran. We also have Jordan. You've got all them countries around there. I think Saudi Arabia is British. If we could put the map up, but yeah. So we've also got Iraq, which is unstable. Still have the IS, the caliphates there. The ISIS, if we all remember ISIS not too long ago, and the atrocities that ISIS were committing. So we still got cells of those chaps. You've got Iran, which is a massive country there, and we have Syria, which is also a another contentious place, which they couldn't get rid of the mad dog over there, Assad. And also, as we can see from this picture here, we're looking at Egypt, and the North African countries are all Muslim. And we have Turkey, which is also a major player in this. Is also an enemy of Israel. So, and Turkey are big. They got a big army, right? So you got big Turkey there. So they're actually totally surrounded. Now, what Israel have done, they are basically bullying Hamas, because Hamas is just a small, compared to Israel's army, they're really small. But the problem with Israel is that they are small compared to, say, countries like Syria, Iraq, Egypt, and Iran in military aspects of that. So that's the problem. Also, we got the it's all oil around this area, so that's one of the reasons why the Americans and the British have to have a standing in the Middle East, and that is one part of it. They've also run in Saudi Arabia. Let's not. Although these guys are some of the richest people in the world, they've got to sell their oil to some people, and also once you sell the oil, you get the protection of nations, huge nations like UK and America. So also you've got another side of it as well. We have Russia. Russia is known to back Syria. Okay, they've also got their fingers in the pie down there. That's another country that had a huge population of Jewish people, and they've been fair to say that they've been mistreated in that country as well. So many of the Israelis today are from Russia, are from Germany, and are from different parts of the world where Jewish people were subjected to racial discrimination. And so that's the problem with Israel, and where it's that whole region. You see, it's all about the oil, and
this region right here.
Yeah, so this you got Saudi Arabia, which is a massive oil. I can look up the oil countries, the in the Middle East.
They're all oil countries.
Yeah,
Kuwait, Iraq, Oman, Yemen. Doesn't Yemen have oil too? I mean,
yeah.
Or no?
I'm not sure. Yemen. So we've got. I've got the statistics up here.
Yeah, I believe they do. Yeah, they do.
They got oil as well. I think the whole area.
Yeah, the whole area. Yeah.
So
it's oil rich.
That's why the reason for
all the wars.
That's why it's such a concern, I think, to the leading nations to secure the oil production.
Yeah, they don't want another problem. with the oil. The oil messes up trade. It screws up
Yeah,
trade. So everything is shipped with oil, using oil.
yeah,
All the
and the war,
trucks. Yeah,
the
man.
war
And
is based on oil as well, for the tanks.
yeah, yeah.
Also, as we can see in Palestine now, they're running out of fuel. How much the impact, and this is something that Black people need to be aware of, because of if countries, if you look at what's happening in Palestine,
Mm-hmm.
how different war tactics are used now. So obviously, shutting off electricity, shutting off
Mm-hmm.
oil. So when
Mm-hmm.
that happens, a lot of the places, if you've got large casualties, are not going to be able to function, i.e., hospitals.
Right.
You see, so it's a tragic case, and also the way they live so compact. And again, they're not a massive military opponent
No.
compared to Israel, you know. So they're definitely, I did say that, they've reduced it to rubble, so they're all down in the south.
Mm.
And I don't think they'll ever be able to go there. I mean, this is people's homes, you see burnt out cars, you see people have to flee their homes. So people they're already poor to start with, so they're even being pushed back even more. And plus now they might have to go to a different country and become a what would you call it?
Refugees.
An immigrant of another
Refugee.
country.
Refugee.
Refugee. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And also, you can also have the rise of far right movements like Hamas, or even worse than Hamas now. After all this is going on, maybe the group that comes up now from this vacuum is going to be more violent. It's going to think to maybe get more support from different areas.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot on the table.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking, often no one ever really knows, like, because, yeah, as you see, it seems like it's a pivotal time. Like, a lot of nations seem primed to, you know, to have some sort of war. I mean, Russia and the US definitely seem prime. The EU seems semi prime, which
Yeah.
is not surprising because they have smaller armies, But the US is definitely prime. I mean, they have the biggest military and the most ships and most ready preparedness, you could say, out of militaries. But I
Well, when wars start, VB, also we've got to remember and pull in there
mhm,
the selling of ammunition and how much money countries make. For an example, the UK was bankrupt to America, which is a
mhm,
well-known fact after the Second World War.
mhm,
That was due to all the money that they were receiving. But
mhm,
sometimes it's not money, it's sent through weapons. So Israel are buying more weapons. So production will be up.
mhm,
On the American side and the British side. And when you mentioned Europe, a lot of them countries make ammunition. I want to do a stream about that one day, VB, about how Europe arm the world, arm
mhm,
all the world with weapons,
mhm,
and they don't have much gun crime in their countries, but the countries that they're selling the guns to do.
mhm, mhm,
So there's lots of money to be made here as well. Also possession of land, as we can see, and with this policing of the whole world kind of thing, it's also a nudge in China and Russia's sides
mhm,
to remind them that we still, the UK and the Americans are still in charge. And you've also got China. You've also got China, whose influences in Africa. We don't know how much military personnel are in Africa, which is also a very close area. So Africa could be drawn into the war. Where Africa always gets drawn into the war, as we all know, is the resources. So the plutonium, the oil, you name it, is in Africa. And I mean, cobalt's big at the moment, which is used mostly in mobile phones. So the African continent should really be beware of this, because the last time we had a world war, it was fought in Africa as well. Egypt, Rommel, the great leader, the great General Rommel from in the Nazis' army, they called him the Desert Rat. He was a military genius, and he was in Egypt. You had Germany had black soldiers fighting for him, right? So
exactly, man.
Yes,
it's
yes.
crazy,
So there will
but
be
it's
black
true.
nations that will be fighting on that side, man. Yo, bro. You know. So
Yeah. What's up, Jake?
what's happening, brother? Long
Yeah,
time
man.
haven't seen your face, man.
I'm trying to stay off the internet, man. Yeah.
So that's where I am.
Man.
So I'll let you talk, man. Big up Donny, big up Love My Fro, everybody in the chat. Tar, Shaka, David, respect my bro.
Peace
so
to the gods.
IPT, she's popping up soon. Excellent.
Oh,
So
damn, she want
what...
that smoke. What? The time want that? Okay. Damn, they want the smoke. Is that okay? Yeah, all right. Yeah, but go ahead. I'm listening. Jay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
and Beverly's here too. Okay.
Hey, Beverly. Salute
Yeah.
to everyone. Yeah, so the logistics now.
Yes, the logistics. That's what I wanted to get, because I got stuck where I started trying to pontificate. Like, could a war spring out of this, a World War IV or not? But I realized it's not even the point whether you believe it could or don't believe it can. The point is, let's pretend it can. What would you do? How do you see the world events? What do you think is going to happen? And I'm going to tell you, the first thing I look for is this thing right here. The first thing I looked for was this. Who got the most nuclear weapons? Not weapons like bombs. Everybody's thinking about, people think when you say nukes about bombs. No, I mean, like, look, nuclear powered aircraft carriers and naval ships. Nuclear powered naval ship. To me, when I look at that map, this is the first thing I think about, because if you look at that map, you could see that the between this area right here, the Atlantic, is probably going to be is definitely the United States and Europe's strongest point is the Atlantic. That's the strongest point. I mean, you would have to go up against all of NATO, and they're not going to wait for you to get to the Atlantic.
No.
They're not waiting for nobody. They're already looking over here to Asia, to the Pacific. They're looking to the Pacific over
That's
here.
The troubling part for America, you see.
Right. This is where they're going to start, right here. They want to make sure they have this area. But how can you, let's say there's a war, let's say oil, you lose oil. Well, that's what I thought of. I mean, gas, oil. But guess what? If you got more nuclear ships, right, than anybody else, that's going to give you definitely a very good advantage point.
Yeah, so logistically, that's where Israel have got a problem, and if they get rid of the Palestine state, they can actually start to have free access to the Mediterranean, which would bolster their abilities to fight by sea.
Who?
So
Oh, you talking about Israel?
Logistically wise, it's all going to be sort of a lot of aircraft's going to be used. If we look at the map there, so the Mediterranean, if we get in there with the Mediterranean there, okay. So with the Mediterranean, so if you zoom in even more, we can see where Israel is, and you can see the area here. So, what's very important for a country is access to the sea. You've got a you've got a better standing if you've got a navy. You've got it's going to be mostly air attacks, I presume, and tank warfare, because of Israel don't have much access to sea. They have a small navy, but not as big as, say, the Americans or the English.
Oh, you talking about? You talking about in the current, like if it spreads to the region first? You talking about if it just starts spreading to the region, like in Arabia and Egypt,
that would be
Syria, Jordan. So that's what you would think about. Yeah, okay, I got you.
So that would be more tank warfare, aircraft. It'll be fought by aircraft, by and then obviously you starting to get your foot invasion, your ground troops in. But it's definitely going to be fought. It's going to be a fight of the skies.
Look at Donnie. Donnie's tripping. Flotilla is definitely going to keep you in the game.
Flotilla.
Yeah.
You know,
you need, funny, man.
Look, England ruled the whole half the globe just by its navy. That's how the UK is one of the smallest countries in the world, but they had a huge navy, which allowed them to reach certain areas.
This is man, Smoke. You better stop this stuff right here, man. I was taking it serious until he said Trump was going to come and make me. That ain't going to happen. Trump ain't going to be back, bro.
It's debatable. It's debatable. I mean, would this have happened if Trump was in charge?
Trump ain't going to make it back. Hey, I'll put it to you right now. I got $100. I got $100 for that man right there, Smoke Reloaded. If Trump gets back in office. Excuse me, I don't normally bet like that openly on that. But this is one I have to say. If I'm wrong about this, I deserve to be smacked or lose $100. Love it. I know he said he's serious.
Oh gosh, Trump! How did he get in there?
But then, how serious are you, Smoke? You gonna give me $100 if you're wrong? How serious is the question? This all good. Let's see, man. He would have. Oh man, I'll bet him 100, but I never go for anonymous and unidentified people. I can't bet those people. See, he know where to find me at and shit. I don't even know. I'm gonna be like, "Where somebody named Smoke Reloaded, man? You know that dude?" They gonna be like, "Who?" It's 10 people named Smoke Reloaded. Yo. But I'm coming find you, Smoke Reloaded. You lose that bet. Hey, but check this out. All right, so you're right. You said air. Now let me ask you this. How long does there have to be a war in the Middle East? I mean, would a war in the Middle East, just in the Middle East, let's say Arabia, let's say Iraq, let's say Lebanon, you know, Israel, Jordan, right? Kuwait, Iran. Let's say all that kicks off. Turkey. How much would that hit the Western economy or the global economy?
It would smash it to pieces because we're still recovering from
somebody named SC. Who's that? You got to show your face, SC.
The pandemic.
So I can let you up. Let me see your face, SC. Yeah, go ahead, bro. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so you got the pandemic. Most economies are running in the red at the moment. I was in Turkey not too long ago. Turkey was their money's devalued. They've also got a leader there. Political problems over there. Hi, Jelly. Respect. So it would cause problems because the oil will go up in price, wouldn't it?
Definitely. Yeah.
And also we could say, for an example, travel to these areas may be called off. So traveling, these places have, you've got places like Dubai, which is a big destination for people, especially from the UK. I'd definitely like to go and see over there one day, but I'm going to Africa first. But
what you gonna do over there? What you gonna do in Dubai?
I'm gonna get some sand.
Somebody snuck up on my panel. How you do that? Let me see.
You didn't know you let me up here?
How she do? Oh yeah, I did. Oh, okay.
And you
I was about
forgot?
to say. Yeah, my fault. I was reading something real quick about following up on what
forgot
Jay
I was up
saying.
here.
There you go now. Bust on in. Let it be known. Come on.
Hey.
Share your
Okay,
thoughts.
let me start. But listen. Okay, let me let Jay do his thing. He talking about going to Dubai. What you doing over there? You spending money? What you doing?
Oh hell no.
We know what goes on in Dubai.
I would like to see.
Tell us
they've
what
got
goes
some
on
of the
there.
coolest buildings.
You know what goes on over there.
Oh, what goes on?
Yeah.
Okay, they go for girls.
We innocent guys.
We
don't know.
You know what they be doing to them girls over there in Dubai.
Oh no, I'll be going with my missus, so I won't be able
I know what
to
you mean. Yeah, don't.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest.
I was thinking of bringing you, ABT. I don't know.
You ain't bringing me. You're not bringing.
Shit, she ain't never going there. She's scared. She's scared. You ain't gonna get her ass.
I had a brother I was gonna bring over there. I had him some ass out chaps ready. You know, I was gonna put him on the strip. He's gonna get that money.
Damn.
He's gonna get that money.
Damn, they were. Well, yeah, that's scary. That's scary.
He was down for a good time. He was down.
No, but I hear it's not too good for black folk there.
No.
And somebody just was it there? They got arrested. They doing time. Where that lady doing time? It's not a pass. Yeah, they gonna run them the fuck up out of there. They ain't gonna get them out.
Yeah, see? No, I've heard lots of bad stories.
The whole of the Middle East, the whole.
But they wild. Like the kink out there, they are wild. Like who? I couldn't believe girls was going out there and having all that done to them. I was like, what? What?
People going out to. I heard a lot of it is like this. People looking for maids, looking for house servants, but then when they get there to get trapped, they take their passports, they take everything, and they can't leave, they can't escape.
No, y'all don't. Oh, okay. I'm gonna just put it in the back chat because if I was in the chat, I'd have said something different. But
okay, yeah, go ahead, put it in the back chat. But yeah, really. So, and that's a whole nother topic. I mean, that's even pre-war. That's normal times. Normal times, there's servants. Slaves. You seen some of them things on the net? They beating people, flogging people, chaining people up.
Yeah. Libya have got. I mean, that's a good point, VB. There is slavery still around today in Africa, in Libya. Okay. Right, there's huge amounts because a lot of the guys who make it to say Italy, Spain.
I know what you mean a bit, Todd. I heard about that too. That's so nasty too, but it's so sad. And women are taking the money.
Yeah, they getting money. That's what they're doing to get it too.
Boy, that is disgusting. But people do all kind of things for money, and they will do that, because they got no respect.
But the wild thing is, like, there's somebody back in the States or wherever that'll just stick their joint in them. It's like y'all don't know what kind of they getting split peed on out there, yellow split peas in their mouth. It's crazy. But some old thirsty dust ball is gonna.
Right,
like,
so it's off my travel list then. Thank you very much. Are you? I hope you're not a travel advisor.
Yeah, you'd be a horrible travel advisor.
Who me?
Yeah, you sound like Living Color, a comedy sketch of Living Color. Yeah, but it's a good place.
Where would you suggest then?
You can never.
ABT, where would you
never
suggest?
Go. You be running the customers away. That'd be the last place you get hired and shit. They'd be like,
Yeah, that's not where you want to go.
On his way there.
I'm just saying, just do your due diligence when you picking up girls from the internet, and they got a lot of money, and they ain't got no brick and mortar nowhere, no concrete business nowhere. They ain't making soap like jelly, making body care products, body oils and stuff.
Let me ask you this question a bit, Todd. Do you think, generally speaking, African Americans, right, Black Americans, if you will, right, whichever one. See, now we got 5 names and shit. It's real complicated now. It's like I don't want to say the wrong one, but I'll just say African American, the old version. Everybody knows what that means.
Not the new niggas.
This is the 60s. Yeah, we dealing with the 60s here. Old motherfuckers up here. It's like,
as long as you're not saying people of color, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying exactly. Thank you. And I'm not saying that at all. But check this. What do you think African Americans generally feel like? Do you think they would do well? Do you think they feel like they will do well off in a world war? Like if a world war kicked off, do you think they feel like they're protected? Like we're okay, we'll be safe.
I guess it depends on which factions you're talking about. The gangs might be they might be good. The dudes in prison, they might be all right.
Yeah, that's a low standard.
But then you got people taking up arms. So you got Black folks taking up arms. There are some people that are militarily trained Black folks are gonna do good. People that's on that survival stuff, they got their go bag, gonna do well. Yeah, or people that know how to make do.
Is the cheese line gonna let you in?
You gotta, if you don't know how to make do, right, outside of all the normal shit going on, then you're not gonna do well. You don't know how to adjust, figure out other ways to eat. You know what I'm saying? Understand you gotta adjust all your taste buds.
Yeah,
you gotta figure out other ways.
That sounds hard. Damn.
You gotta figure it out. But for some people it is hard. Like they, I gotta have it. I don't want, they gotta really.
Don't you think we're just gonna die? If something like that happens, we won't make it. You think we'll make it out there?
Some people will.
We could. Some of us will.
Not everybody ain't gonna make it.
But you're gonna need to be a little crazy.
You gotta be on that survival shit though.
Yeah,
like if you're not training, listen. I live in a county.
You're never gonna survive.
No. Listen.
Get a little crazy.
White folks go out in the woods and build shit for sport.
True.
They will challenge.
But now
themselves.
we got mumble rap. Now we got mumble rap, sister.
See what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. All they gonna do is take over a territory. If you don't know how to live in nature somewhere,
We're so resilient. Our people are so resilient. No other nation of people on this planet would have survived the genocide that we had in the Atlantic slave trade. For us to even be on the planet Earth at the moment, it's just testimony on the resilience of the black man. We're very resilient. Very resilient. So there will always be
this wishful thinking you got going on.
You talking globally.
I heard you with the
You talking globally. Yeah, he talking globally.
We'll be fine.
He trying to tease us
we're gonna
and
be
shit
all
now.
right. No, we're not. No.
He's laughing deep down inside. He's like,
you don't believe all that.
We're gonna be all right. Don't worry.
We're gonna be fine, people. Keep hope alive.
Doing the Bob Marley rendition.
Jade, like they've been talking all that shit about European blacks. Yeah, I'll be all right. Y'all be all right. Just don't worry about it. Everything will be fine.
We now
be fine.
Yeah,
we'll be just fine. No problems at all.
We soft, man. We soft up here,
You're resilient.
We're soft.
We're getting
softer as the years go by.
But what about you, Bennett? What you think? How you gonna do? Where you at? You out there over there in them parts? I'm saying you over there.
I'm the heating on.
Listen,
I'm the heating on these.
Where is you at in relationship to all that stuff going on? We got to. What's going on? Got to smuggle you out?
I mean, it depends on who you ask. Because let's look at what happened in the Ukraine. Right, the Ukraine war broke out, And what happened? A lot of countries. Now you're talking about a very fortunate people. Ukraine is a very fortunate country because the West, NATO came to Ukraine's rescue, essentially, and the EU did. They moved. They made some things happen. They rallied their resources and made it possible for Ukraine to exist. But a lot of people had to flee, so there had to be a lot of accommodations, a lot of refugees in Europe, different countries and things like that. But what happened is that everybody knows this one story. Let me dig this one story up and let me put it up on the screen real quick. I'm pretty sure everybody remembers this story right here, and the story was Africans fleeing Ukraine.
Yeah, on the train.
On the train, right? And there was what happens? You see all these stories. What happened to the African students? Right. And let's just play a little bit of this. Yeah. It's crazy, but it's real talk. And this is what a lot of people, in Europe, this is what
they wake up call, didn't they?
Well, this is not far away. And no, they didn't get the wake up call. And Ukraine did, but one thing I noticed is that it's like it seems to be like a trend. We don't look at the problem until it hits us in our face. It could be next door. It could be 2 countries away, and we still won't become uncomfortable. And that's a very special thing in Europe. European countries, they don't think money problems, economy will spread, but they don't necessarily think cultural things spread, even though everybody knows that there's this problem all across the EU anyway with discrimination, right? Yeah. But they don't like to think of it that way. They don't like to think that if it happened in Ukraine, it would happen in Denmark, or if it happened in Ukraine, it will happen in, where else? Germany. But actually, all the signs are still there outside of the war. You don't know what's going to happen until the war kicks off. But this is what happened in the Ukraine in real time.
The UN's refugee agency released the latest figures on refugees leaving Ukraine since the war began. That figure is now at 846,000 people. Yesterday, that figure was floating at around the 660,000 mark. So that gives you an idea of how quickly this refugee crisis is accelerating. I would not be surprised at all if by the weekend we're looking at over 1 million people. Over the last couple of days, we've spent time down on the Hungarian-Ukrainian border to examine the experience mainly of students from African countries coming across border crossings between Ukraine and Poland. The tiny village of Zahon on the Hungarian border with Ukraine is basically just a train station. Now, though, becoming a major transit point out of Ukraine.
Nigerian students, 50 people, please come with me.
Nigerian embassy officials are here, for example, transporting hundreds of people to Budapest, mainly students who've been walking for days. The people we spoke to said they'd come out via Hungary in order to avoid the Ukrainian-Polish border exit points to the west.
Budapest.
Suddenly, word spreads the train on platform 1 is leaving for Budapest. Even here on the border, war, too close for comfort. It's a false alarm, though. Turns out the train isn't leaving for another 4 hours, so plenty of time to hear stories of the journey to the border. Like Victor's, a medical student in Kyiv, and his friend, Alao.
I'm a brain surgeon resident.
I don't think I've ever met a brain surgeon properly before. Victor first went to the Polish border with Ukraine to the west, but says he was told by a Ukrainian border guard that the policy was 1 foreigner allowed through for every 10 Ukrainians.
They said they had a protocol for the entry to the border, and the protocol was 10 number of the Ukrainian locals to 1 number of foreigners to gain entrance to the Polish border.
Did a border guard say that to you?
Yes, a few of them.
And to remind you all, the author of this book, James Amolo, who's going to be here tomorrow with us, he's living in Poland, actually. Right. So he knows a lot about the diaspora in Poland, but I just wanted to give Poland a shout out.
Poland as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's an interesting place. But here, let's check. Let's see what they say.
The border guard said that
they are not allowing any black people to enter inside the gates.
Many of the students we spoke to said they'd come south to the Hungarian border because of phone footage like this from border crossings into Poland. Videos purporting to show foreigners being treated differently by Ukrainian border guards at the long queues going west into Poland, something the UN's High Commissioner for Refugees has acknowledged was happening. Augustine's university lectures for medicine were due to start properly in March. Aspirations derailed for now by war.
Well, you know, that story is, you know, this is just a typical story. I mean, there's so many stories about people fleeing and certain aspects of discrimination being applied, which is not supposed to be applied at all. You know, I mean, people are refugees, they flee in war. Everybody's supposed to be able to get out. And, you know, yeah. So these are the kind of things, although I could see in Europe, you know, if you're a Danish, let's say if you're a Polish citizen, or let's say you're a Ukrainian citizen. Well, the story here is that these were not Ukrainian citizens. But I mean, I'm not a citizen. I'm not a citizen of Denmark, right? I'm an American citizen. I mean, that probably has advantages over a lot of passports. But let's just say let's just say you could get out, because that's one side of it, like getting out, fleeing, escaping. But what if your issue is not really escaping? What if you're just there? You're there already, you know, and you're from that country. Like Jade, you got a UK passport, right? What
yeah, I've also got Jamaican.
Right. And Jamaican. Oh, you got two.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think would happen? Like if there was really like a war where the economies got pressed, how do you think things would change in the UK?
Right, so the UK's got a different kind of standing. That would not happen in the UK, as in white people would be able to turn around, or white officials would be able to turn around and say certain people can't get on a train or be able to leave. As I was born in England, I'm a British citizen. That might affect someone to say if they were a refugee in this country and were black, because racism still exists in England, and we can also see how certain people are treated. For an example, the Ukrainians have been given houses, have been given given accommodation, have been welcomed into people's homes. Even one Ukrainian girl took away the woman's husband, and then they ended up breaking up. But yeah, so with the stance in England, we're kind of covered a lot better than most countries. The problem with the rest of Europe is that there is a very small minority, and as I said in my show the other day, talking about the Black British, there's been black people in England from the Roman days. So discrimination didn't really happen until the Victorian ages, with the printing press, and unfortunately it was the Bible what was used a lot of the time, because a lot of people from the continent were not Christians. So we had that problem. So UK is unique. You will not find any place on earth like it in we should say in London, with the multiculturalism that exists here. We have every nation in this country, and
you don't think New York got it?
Who?
New York. All right,
no, New York, no. New York. I went to New York. It's to me, I found it there was segregation. I didn't realize, because I went to New York, and I'll tell you a story. My sister was living in Brooklyn, and I traveled to Far Rockaway. For those who big up New York, big up the New Yorkers, right? And
New York got every nation, is what I'm saying. Like, Every
New
nation.
York, New York, big city of dreams, and every place in New
Yeah,
York
It is a
ain't
true
always
melting
what
pot.
it seems.
It's got
no,
every nation living there.
not like the UK. Not
It
like
might
the UK.
seem clean if you come from
You
out of
visited
town.
for how long?
Go ahead, Jay.
Sorry?
You visited for how long?
Oh, New York.
For 2 days.
No.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
Mm-mm.
not for
joking.
You
long.
seen it
Not for
all.
long. But
Okay,
I'm
you seen it
joking.
I've got
all.
people that
I'm
live there. My sister
joking.
lives
A
in New
bit
York.
tired. I'm sorry.
But
No,
for an
you good.
example, coming from the airport, we came to an area and the whole area was Latin Americans. I've never seen anything like that in my life. We have that in England. You have certain areas. You have white areas. You have Asian areas. Okay, but these are quite small. But when it comes to sort of like black neighborhoods or like Brooklyn, I would have said that was more black people. When we was coming on the train, there was more white people leaving the trains until we got to Brooklyn. I even saw a white girl in Brooklyn, and that's when it hit me, because that was the only white girl I'd seen in the whole that place where I was staying. So
Where?
to me,
Okay.
there's
No,
levels of
but you ain't been
segregation
all
in
over New
America.
York. Just mad.
Um,
Yeah, no. New York got it. You just don't know though. How long was you there? I didn't hear that.
not that long, not that long
Yeah,
to
okay.
maybe make such
Yeah,
a
right.
distinction of
I
New
grew up
York.
there. I grew up there, I know.
But are you saying that New York is like the UK?
I'm saying that we got every nation
No, I
in New
know.
York.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not,
saying
not saying that
it's
you haven't
super
got every
diverse. It's
nation.
very diverse. And
No,
I didn't really know how diverse it was really until I moved to the South. I saw, the diversity is not the same at all.
have
Like
you been to
there's
the
some
UK?
places just getting it. Yeah, I've been out there.
So tell me something then, because I was on the train with a white guy, right, and having a chat with a white guy, and my friend Indiana was there. And when I got off the train, I went to shake his hand, and he stepped 2 steps back, and he had a look of fear on his face. He
Where
then
was this?
took my
Where was
hand
this at?
in
On the
Far
train.
Rockaway.
Okay.
And so I turned to Indiana, because we were having a nice conversation on the train. And Indiana told me that the blacks and the whites don't really deal with each other in New York. That's what she said to me. I've also got a white friend that was living in New York at the time. And we was coming from her apartment in Manhattan, coming down. And we came down the lift. A black lady came into the elevator, which you call an elevator. We call a lift in England. And she had a funny look on her face, and she turned to the lady and said, "Oh, I agree. What's going? I like this. I like what I'm seeing here. But me and the girl wasn't together. We were good friends, right?" So to me, she was implying that we were in a relationship, and she was kind of giving the thumbs up. I also went to a rooftop party in Manhattan. There was a black lady at the reception. This was in the daytime on top of a rooftop pool and everything. And they were mostly all white.
Yeah, you can't really make that kind of assessment based on what you saw. Nah, it's not like that. It's
You'll have to come to
black
the
and white
UK
folks
to see.
live. I've
You'd have
been
to.
there. I've seen it though. I've seen it. I've been there. But that's what I'm saying. Like it felt like I was back home for real in certain parts. It didn't feel that different. It wasn't that different to me at all. Except for like the weather and the driving and the the buildings, the architecture is a little different. Yeah, but in terms of like being around different types of people everywhere, it's kind of the same.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you have your pockets where there's a large concentration of black folks, like so out in Far Rockaway, Queens, certain parts of Brooklyn. Nowadays, not so more with gentrification. White folks moved in. So what you have sometimes is the gentrification where white folks move in and push black folks out. But um black folks, white folks, all kinds of people live around each other still in the same neighborhoods, still, if they can afford it, it's more about wealth and influence than anything else in terms of the segregation piece. Um, that you have communities that prefer to live with each other. Like there's a large Caribbean community in Queens and in Brooklyn, right? And then in the Bronx, there's some there, but there's also, Dominicans, Haitians, a lot of other groups there too, Africans, a lot of other groups there. And with Black folks popularized in certain places, whites and other groups, Indians, Asians, they want to move there, they want to live there. But if not, I mean, I grew up with all kinds of people. It is a real melting pot, for real. So, and it's been like that for most of my life, up there. So I don't, I consciously moved, when I moved out of Westchester County into Brooklyn, I moved to an area where I knew there was more Black folks, but there was white folks living on my block too. So
Okay.
you get on the subways, a lot of white folks, Indians, Asians, a lot of different kinds of Arabs, a lot of Arabs too, all different kinds of people.
What part of New York was that? That was in Brooklyn? Okay.
In Bedford-Stuyvesant.
All right.
Now, who segregates themselves are the Jews, the Hasidic Jews, the Orthodox Jews. They live in, but they do that everywhere they go.
Right.
Hey Jade, how long did you visit the U.S.?
I visit. I don't think. I think I might have been a week. What happened is as I said, my little sister lives in New York. So what I would do, I would get a flight from the UK to New York, spend some time in New York, and then get a plane from New York to Jamaica, and then I would do the same thing, returning from Jamaica to New York. So I would have said around, in altogether, I've been there about 4 times, and I maybe spent about 2 weeks at the most, 2 weeks. And I've been to Queens as well. I've got family in Queens. New York.
Queens got a large Indian population out there. They all over there, like in Lower East Side Manhattan. They got stores in Lower East Side Manhattan. But
Indian,
a lot of them live in
West Indian or what? What you mean?
No, not West Indian. Indian from India.
Indian. Oh, okay.
East Asians, the Asians, them
Okay.
Asians from India. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Asians.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm gonna so Brooklyn. What part of Brooklyn was I? I was you was Bed-Stuy. Let me zoom in a bit. I can't remember the road.
So right, but you got like Flatbush. You got Crown Heights. Crown Heights is a large Caribbean population.
Yep.
Large Caribbean population in Crown Heights.
I think I was near
on
Crown
one side
Heights.
you got the Caribbeans, and then on the other side you got the Hasidic Jews, which you go up Eastern Parkway. That's kind of how. But the Jews got they have their own communities out there. And then you got Little Italy, you got Chinatown, so yeah, people do, gravitate to their cultural areas, but I mean, those are smaller than some of the other boroughs. They're like little spots in the boroughs. So people do live outside of those areas.
Okay, what about say different races going out together or dating?
Yeah, that ain't nothing new.
What is it?
That ain't
Is
nothing
it
new,
a
but
lot? Have you got a large mixed race population?
Yeah, it's nothing new. So
more than the UK.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know if the numbers are the same. But you got people. There's a lot of interracial dating in New York City.
Right. Okay. Well, I felt a feeling of segregation, but obviously I was wrong. And as I said, I didn't spend enough time, so I can always take my comment back. Because I didn't spend that much time. But I was also speaking to Indiana, and Indiana sort of.
But you know what? I'm not too sure about that, Jay, because I'm not too sure if what she's saying is the same thing you're saying. But I think y'all trying to understand each other. But I mean, a bit tight. Don't you feel like there's a sense of segregation though? At the same time, people.
I
It's a
mean,
melting
people.
pot.
So
Don't you
like,
feel there's racial issues though too?
oh yeah, I think definitely there are racial issues. I'm not saying there's not. There definitely are racial issues, and people that choose to live amongst their own definitely feel that way as well. People that make that conscious decision to date their own and live amongst their own. But I'm just saying it's not. It's people live everywhere. Like they don't. So if you got money, right? If you got a really good job, folks don't want to stay with their own if they're in a poor neighborhood. So people with money go live, where they want to live. And you got black folks that make a lot of money in New York City. They're living everywhere. They're living everywhere they want to live if they got money. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, it's. I think certain communities segregate because of the cultural context, right? So, like I said, we got a large Caribbean population in certain parts of Brooklyn and certain parts of the Bronx. But you got the same thing with Little Italy, with China and all that. But for the most part, though, people do they also live on the same block in the same building type thing.
Okay.
Like it's not, it's not as segregated. So he probably went to an area where that was the community. Maybe who you was visiting was comfortable around
Or
that
maybe the
place, and that's
culture.
what they wanted.
Like
Yeah,
Jade, you didn't have people say hello to because typically, what I hear is that I hear from here over on this side, most people in Denmark, for example, they would say Americans are very friendly. They were surprised, like when they show up there, they're surprised how friendly Americans really are versus the television, what they get from the television,
Yeah.
And not that there's anything mean on the television either, but you just get a different idea, And people typically say that in Europe, or in the Scandinavia, people are more closed. They don't necessarily say hello on the street. They walk by each other. Whereas though in the U.S., people actually, a lot of times people acknowledge each other walking down the street. What you think about that, a bit, Ty?
No one's.
Yeah, especially in the South.
Okay.
Especially in the South.
Okay. Yeah,
But
maybe New
this
York
is what I'm
is too
saying.
big of
Like
a
the
city.
schools in New York are super. So the HBCUs are in the South mainly, right? Like they're in the South. So education is integrated in New York. Like all the school, unless you live in like a black area, mostly black, you're gonna be going to school with white, Spanish, all kinds of kids. They
Right.
used to call New York the melting pot for a reason, because there's
Right.
all these cultures that's living there, and especially in the cities. So, and you you see, so if you're in super poor neighborhoods, you're gonna be in school with super poor kids from all kinds of backgrounds, though. Not as many white kids. Like they tend to have money, and so they was Upper East Side educated, all of that, private schools, all of that. But for the most part, public schools is heavily diverse, just because of all the different kinds of people living there.
But I'm not saying this is any different, but even with that diversity, I mean, I know myself, like, I think my generation in DC, right, is looking back because a lot of the racism, people is so heavy, people tend to want to, try to look past it or forget it because it's a really tough subject. So even though You see people say hello, even though, when you walk down the street, I'm not too sure what that's an indicator of. Like, I mean, because like I was saying, the Europeans, a lot of them here, they will see I mean, they would take that as a sign of friendliness. But I always tell them, I'm like, yeah, but Americans are almost overly friendly because we have a lot of violence too, and it's almost behooves people to be a little more friendly to counter that dynamic. Whereas though there's the less gun violence and there is a lot less gun
Yeah,
violence. And nobody,
I think it's where you at. I think it's where
yeah,
you're at.
maybe
Because
right,
like in the South, they call it that Southern hospitality. People are
right.
friendly. They always speak.
But if you live in the South,
Yeah.
do you call it that? Do you call it Southern hospitality if you live in the South?
No, but that's what outsiders. That's what
Yeah,
outsiders call it, right? Because they say folks that the Southerners are friendly.
Yeah, that ain't nothing friendly down here.
Right,
Ain't
right.
nothing friendly around these
Right. And
walls.
they say in New York, people aren't as friendly in New York. Because New York is like,
Boozy Badass looks very,
You be
very,
like,
very
protect
friendly.
your neck in New York.
yeah, and it's very, you could get got, but it's hustle energy too, right? Like you can't be sightseeing and the flow, the traffic, the foot flow. This is just on foot, not even driving. The foot flow is moving. You got to move with the crowd, or you gonna get
Right.
knocked down. And
Yeah.
they don't care. Ain't nobody looking back because in New York, everything is always like this. Somebody got somewhere to go. We gotta go. We gotta do this. We gotta do that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's one of the reasons I left. It was too crazy. But yeah, like so if you're not paying attention, your pocket's gonna get got. Like it's all of that. If somebody is smiling in your face in New York, you be careful.
Yeah, I
You be
never.
careful.
Yeah, the
Right,
only
that's
person
deep.
that spoke to me, VB, when you said if anyone like a stranger, I mean, people would like speaking to me because of how my accent was, But I obviously I had friends, but I was standing outside. Oh, I can't remember what station it was. I was standing outside a metro, the underground or the metro, and I was having a cigarette, and a cab pulled up. You can get $1 cab.
Yeah.
Along the road,
In
in
New York,
New York.
and I forget
Yeah,
what
you
parts
can
of New
hail
York,
them
but
down.
in Brooklyn you can get $1
In
cab, or you
Brooklyn.
used to be able to. Yeah,
So that was in
But
Brooklyn.
we just call it the subway.
Yeah, sorry, the subway.
Call it the subway.
So I was outside
You know what
the
the $1
subway.
cab do, right? It just stops and picks people up along the
Up along
road.
the way. Yeah.
You just get in and you get out wherever you need.
Yeah, it's
Jump
wicked.
in and
It's like
jump
a
out,
bus.
right?
Yeah, it works though.
It's brilliant.
That's
Oh
It's like
yeah,
$1.
it's a hustle. That thing
Yeah.
didn't work.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. Go
I was
ahead,
having
Jay.
a cigarette, which I shouldn't really be smoking, and I was having a cigarette, and this guy come out the one of the cabs, and he must have been about 6'5", right? He was a huge piece of a man. He had dreadlocks, long dreadlocks, and he walked up to me, and he said, "Yo, can I get one? Can I get a smoke?" So I gave him the cigarette, and I said, "Yeah, sure." Gave him the cigarette, and he said, "Oh, thank you." Then he walked off. So I decided it's probably not a good idea to be smoking around there. So I walked
Oh,
around
they
the
gonna
other
get
side
you.
of the metro station,
They
and
gonna
I
get you.
ABT, right? Listen to this. And I looked over the road, and you got jaywalking in America, so you're not really allowed. You don't really see, like in England, people just walk in the road. It's not against the law as such. But there was heavy traffic, and I could see this light-skinned lady walking across the road through the traffic. There was cars beeping and stuff like that. And I could hear, yo. So I didn't realize she was talking to me. So this lady, I'm not sure if she was on drugs or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. But she asked me for $1. And when I said to her, I didn't have any money on me. I only had my card. The woman called me some names I've never heard in all my life. And I thought to myself,
She
that's
was probably
charming.
homeless or something.
It happened to me. And I rushed down to the subway, and I was
Not
going
run
to
away. You didn't run
the
away.
museum.
Did you run, bro?
I was laughing.
That's funny as hell, yo. He ran, yo.
Did you run? He's like, I got to get out of here. You dashed down to the subway.
But you know what that
I
is?
ran down like a woman. I was like, boy.
You skipped them stairs down. How'd you do? How'd you
I
hop down
was
the
taking them about 5 at a time. You know?
Jay, you weren't there long enough, Jay. That's what it is. It's true.
Yeah, you was not there long enough.
Yeah, because you still had like your serious antennas on, like your real antennas were like still on. Like, I'm not from here. I just got here. Let me pay attention.
Foreigner.
Yeah,
She spotted you a mile away. She said, yo, he giving out, hey, you right there.
Yeah, she saw your ass a mile away.
She seen you a mile away.
Yeah.
If I stay here, I'll have no money or no cigarettes left. So,
yo, man, but it's like that everywhere. Wherever there's people missing money, you go to that part of the nation or the town. That's exactly how they're gonna be too, man. That's how they're gonna be, bro.
And also
they're looking for someone new.
Yeah. Also, what I saw in New York, what was quite amazing to me, was black-owned businesses, which I didn't really, you don't see so much.
Yeah. Oh, in Brooklyn, especially Brooklyn.
Brooklyn got a lot.
Brooklyn is loaded. Yeah.
There was a guy.
Especially Fulton Avenue.
Fulton, yeah. Up and down Fulton,
that was all
Bush Babies. I don't think Bush Babies around no more. There's black-owned bookstores.
I was really jealous because that doesn't really happen in the UK. That kind of felt like a unity. I felt like I was in a community, and I was really feeling that,
It
was.
Wow. It is a community. Brooklyn was really nice,
definitely
beautiful neighborhood, beautiful
brilliant
part
place.
of town.
I lived there before. I lived in Bed-Stuy before gentrification hit real heavy.
Right. Now all that shit's gone.
It's
all
gone.
of it's gone. That's all that downtown Brooklyn. That's
gone.
It used to be black.
It's whitewashed now.
Now it's gone.
But you know, DC used to be chocolate city. It ain't that no more. It's white chocolate.
Like, now it's like chocolate corner. It's like the edge.
Right.
It's like
the
other side of the river is like chocolate city now. East of the river is chocolate city. Yeah, east of the river, northeast, southeast on the other side of the river. It's now that's like all chocolate city. The rest of it has been like gentrified,
Yep.
It's
so
not
people
all
get
of it,
pushed out. But
yeah.
I think they're even going they even past Upper Marlboro. Like they're pushed out. Like they're out of there.
There's people. Oh no, a lot
down
of
in
people just got
Virginia.
flat out pushed out of DC.
But
the remnants are in is in east of the river. The remnants.
Yeah, the remnants. No, you're right. You still go down there. That's
the ones that's holding out. That's where they
over there. They trying to get that though, because they building up over there.
Oh, definitely. I'm from that part of town. I'm from Anacostia.
I know.
I'm from Capitol Hill and Anacostia. Those two neighborhoods, northeast and southeast. Right.
I was down there not too long ago.
Yeah. But I remember growing up in Anacostia.
Around, didn't she?
Huh? A bit tired. Yeah. She get around. What you been down? You been living in DC before? A bit tired.
I'm in Maryland, so yeah, right there.
Oh, that's Baltimore. Okay. I have people in Baltimore.
Well, Baltimore's in Maryland, but where you at in Maryland?
So I'm north of Baltimore now. Now I'm closer to Delaware. But I used to be there. I used to live in Silver Spring. I used to live in Laurel. I used to live down closer to DC, near Tacoma Park, all of that.
Okay,
I have friends that lived in what is that? The Heights, right outside of DC. I have friends that live right outside of DC. So I was always down there. Not Capitol Heights. It's in Maryland. It's another little town. But and I used to party in DC. We used to house music. We used to throw house parties in DC.
Oh, really?
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
And I think they still
you got some girlfriends down there or what? You should do house parties with or what? Just laughing. Yeah.
Have you seen VB on the circuit? Was VB in there DJing?
No, I never. How long you been in that? Where you at?
I could have. I've been here in Denmark almost. Well, you could say maybe about 20 years in all. But I was in the US for like maybe 5 years. So like 15, 16 years maybe.
Okay, so I moved down to Maryland in 2008, and then I left in 2013 and
Okay.
traveled. I was doing some traveling, and that's when I went down to Belize. I drove to Belize with some friends,
Damn, you
and
drove to
I ended up,
Belize?
yeah, and I ended up staying there for a while. I used to live in Belize, and
You
then
can
I
drive
drove
there?
back. Yeah, you can drive. It's right underneath Mexico, through Texas. We went through Texas and drove through
You've been to
Mexico.
Belize? Okay. Wow.
I used to live down there, and
Damn.
drove through there, and my friends went back north, and I stayed for like a year, and then I came back. My mother had breast cancer. I came back. I went up to New York. So then I went
Sorry
to
to
New
hear
York.
that.
Mm.
Thank you. She beat it. She good. And
Oh,
then
amazing. Yeah,
yeah,
bring
and
Belize up because you know I'm not sure if it's Belize or Costa Rica, but they have a large
Well, get the.
Jamaican
you
You know
see that,
what?
community,
right?
you know.
This is
Sorry to
Belize.
cut you. Wow,
This is
Yeah,
Belize.
this is Belize. This little
yeah,
country right here.
yeah.
You know
Belize
what?
is dope. And I met up, see, and I was down there in the southernmost tip in Punta Gorda, and I met up with Americans. So I was down there with expats. And
Okay.
oddly enough, there was a brother. So it's interesting. So there's a elder here in Baltimore that told us about Belize because he got property and land there. And he said you
Hmm.
could drive, and we was like, you could drive. Oh shit! So
You was
we
in Punta
drove
Gorda. There it is right here.
PG. Yep,
Mm.
yep.
How
And there's
long
a
did that
spot down
take
there
you?
called a piece of ground. So we made it. So we made it like a whole journey because we wanted to. We had this thing called I Am African American Memory. So we were
Hmm.
going through and
Mexico.
checking out all the spots where black people were. So
Hmm.
even in Mexico, we was in Veracruz. We,
But look how
we
big
did all of
Mexico
that.
is. How long did it take you to travel across Mexico? That's not a small
So
country, is it?
because we stopped and
Mm.
stayed with people hosted us along the way,
Oh, lovely.
because we did all of that, it took a little bit. Listen, we was in the desert. We slept in the desert in Mexico. Yeah,
You've had some fun, haven't
we
you?
harvested peyote. It was pretty.
Wow.
It was pretty
That's a
dope.
road trip, boy. VB,
It was a hell of a
put in
road trip.
the directions, say
So San
from
Luis Potosi, we
Washington
was
to
in.
Delhi
On
by
my way
driving.
back,
See
I
how long
stopped
it
in
says it takes.
Palenque.
Let me do it on mine.
You could do it in like 24 hours, maybe like 2 days.
Okay.
But
What?
when
To
you stop along
Belize?
the way, yeah, you could do. Yeah, you could do that. Well, I can't remember. I stopped along the way. I stayed in hostels. We stayed in hostels. We camped in the desert. Like
55 hours by car.
there you go. Yeah, two
That's not
days,
long at
2 3
all.
days. Not long at all. No,
God damn.
no.
55
55
hours
hours.
from
Hmm.
DC?
And we drove from Maryland to Belize, and then when I came back, I drove from Belize to New York.
Whoa.
Hey, look, you can't even take a train there to him. They're like, nope. Only
No,
car.
they got a stretch of
54
land
hours, yeah.
they got a stretch of land in Mexico, San Luis Potosi Highway. So you take that, you find that'll get you right through. And then I got lost a couple times. We
I-40?
went out and we saw the Olmec heads and all that. We went out and listen, the potholes there, you got to drive fast over them joints. We watched like cars from like 1989 going real fast over those potholes. So that's how we actually made it. But yeah, we went and checked out the Olmec heads.
Where were
And
they?
went to
Were they in
certain
Mexico?
yeah.
Right,
That was in
okay.
Mexico City. Okay, so on your way down,
Not
you
in
went there.
Mexico City. Yeah, so we did stop in Mexico City, but where did we go? It was outside Veracruz. It was outside
Outside Veracruz.
Veracruz.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like there
That's
is some
Veracruz.
spot where they got the crystal skull, all of that. So
Did you have to
This
we
one?
didn't go to
go into them
Oaxaca.
sites or were they
We,
free ABT?
what'd you say?
Was it free to visit these sites or did you have to pay an entry fee or could you just
I don't remember honestly. Like, nah,
okay.
we didn't pay nothing. It don't. Yeah, no, it don't cost to. Hold on a second. Yes, babe.
Hmm.
Population 400 so Belize has got a population of 441,000.
I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
actually,
the
it's
least
not that far
densely
from
populated
Veracruz,
country in
man.
Central America, VB.
Hmm?
It's the least densely populated country in Central America.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of space.
I think it's quite a small country, but got a small population there. It's a Caribbean country in Central America because it has a history similar to that of English-speaking Caribbean nations.
Mm-hmm.
It had the Maya civilization there, was spread into the area of Belize in the 1500 BC and 300 AD, and flourished up to 1200 AD, I presume. So yeah, Christopher Columbus sailed along there. Spain and Britain both laid claim to the land until Britain defeated the Spanish in the Battle of St. George's Caye, and it became a British colony known as British Honduras. And it became a crown colony in 1862. Belize has achieved its independence from the United Kingdom on the 21st of September 1981.
Yeah, that's damn. I was already 11 years old, man. It's crazy, right?
Yep, that's the year I was born, VB. So you're 11 years older.
1981.
Yep, that's the year I was born.
Wow, man.
I'm a young tadpole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I was getting in trouble already by that time. No, I'm joking.
Did you have how many children did you have at that time? About 10 children?
No. Yeah, no, man.
5 baby mothers.
Yo, man, thank God I didn't get into trouble too early, before I could handle it, man. Let me see.
But what an amazing story that is, VB. That could be a whole live stream on that journey. That is a road trip.
Oh,
I mean,
well, you know what? If she videoed it or took pictures and all of
wow.
that, that's a wonderful. And nowadays, with the with YouTube and everything, that's definitely what you want to do. Is videotape your whole trip and throw it up on YouTube. That and in some years you'll have a lot of if you cover nature, if you cover some decent sites and especially the nature, you probably have a lot of views, man. I got some trips I still haven't even uploaded. I didn't want to upload them to YouTube, but I've been thinking about some of them, but yeah,
maybe
that's
you could
coming.
do it
That'll come
in
soon.
parts or something, or maybe put them in your live, do a live and play some.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe use little parts of it and invite the panel up, and then we could have a chat about your journey.
Exactly. It might be better that way, like you say. Exactly. That way you get more of a conversation out of it instead of just
just the raw
video.
footage.
Yeah.
I mean, for myself, I'm not very professional off the camera, and sometimes I'm out. Maybe me and my missus, we've been out drinking and stuff like that. So my mouth is going, and my missus can talk a lot as well. So sometimes I'm not editing at the moment, so it's pretty raw. But as you said, something like that, I could even do myself. But I've got some places to go in the UK. For those who are interested, there's a few.
Actually,
Stonehenge.
Yeah, go ahead.
Stonehenge. Places to visit in UK. Stonehenge.
It's in Salisbury, right?
Yep. That's the that's a monolithic site there because that's quite a amazing thing because of the size of these stones, and up until today they don't know what the purpose of that was, because England had quite a before the rise of Christianity, you had like movements like the Druids. I don't know if it was a religion, but the pagan religions as well. So people were sort of very similar to the African continent of worship, worshiping the sun, worshiping nature. So that's one of the places I want to go to.
Yeah, it's true, man. People don't talk about the pre-Christian history of Europe too much in a cultural sense. For some reason, I guess that's just, yeah.
But they try to keep
Christianity
it on
smashed
the
out a
down
lot
low,
of
you see.
traditional cultures, you could say.
Yeah, they like to sort of demonize ours, but a lot of people, I mean, across the whole world, I would have presumed, say, for an example, reading and writing, most of the world was quite illiterate at the time, so people have the same sort of beginnings and share same stories. But I think they tend not to focus on that as much. So there's a few places I'd like to go to. I'd like to go and see where Emperor Selassie spent his last. Well, he was he left Ethiopia, and he was in exile in the UK in Bristol. So that's another place I'd like to go. But there's various places. You've got Hadrian's Wall up the north. I'd definitely want to go to Liverpool, which was a massive slave port in Liverpool. That's Merseyside. So that's up the north.
Yeah, I've been to Liverpool, but not for long. I can't remember why I was there.
Right. They've got a slavery
And
museum
yes,
there.
we documented our trip, BB. We haven't. We're supposed to write about it, and we didn't. But I'm finding that I need to, especially the traveling in the States. I think when I settle my mind and write this book, I'm going to include my experiences from because we, driving through the States. I was just telling somebody this. We went to Africa Town, and I didn't know that was founded by Cujo Lewis from Zora Neale Hurston's The Last Slave Cargo, Barracoon. Didn't know that.
I'm not
So
aware of that person.
I think when I settle down and get this book, I'm going to include my experiences from when we drove down to Belize.
That's going to be a great. I would definitely love to get that. That's going to be great. That. So yeah, you got.
Yeah,
Liverpool
but why was
there.
I in Liverpool?
Oh, y'all couldn't even hear me. Damn.
Yeah, sorry, BB, we couldn't hear you at all, man. I thought you was a bit
I
quiet.
muted out on accident. I was going to say, I think that's one of the best things you can show young people is that, how easy it is to travel, really. Because a lot of times, a lot of young people think that it requires a lot of money or things like that. And it's like, no, actually, when you see everybody else traveling, all these other people traveling, it's not really because they got a lot of money. They just have a different outlook on it.
And it's such advantage. It's such an advantage seeing different cultures and traveling around. It's going to teach you about a lot of
alter
things.
your mind state, your mindset.
Yeah, it's very important because a lot of the youngsters live in sort of a shell, don't they? They live in the same area.
Yeah, we do. That's how it is, man.
Yeah, and don't get to see. There's so much to see. I mean, look at that journey.
A lot of fear. Man. A lot of built-in fear. Or at least I can only speak about my own experience, but I wasn't that fearful. But obviously, right? But when I look back on it, I could see how a lot of the fears that people that I know had were broken at a very young age anyway. I never really had that complete, I didn't have a fear of leaving, but
well, some people that don't want to leave. I remember, my brother didn't start traveling until like a lot later, but I used to ask him, because my first trip out the country was to Egypt, right? To Kemet.
Okay.
So I used to ask him, like, wait, I was like, why don't you want to go nowhere? He was like, I got everything I need right here, the corner. I was like, what? And he was dead ass. It wasn't until he had kids and took them to Disney World. He was like, "Yo, I've been missing out on life." So I was like, "Bro, I was trying to tell you. I mean, I don't know about Disney World, but I'm trying to tell you, there's a lot out here to see." So now he liked to travel when he can, for real.
How did you find Egypt?
It was interesting. It was interesting.
Yeah,
I think
how'd you find Egypt? That's a
so.
good question.
I was
Sorry.
I was a little disappointed because I was looking for more African looking people there, and they weren't. We went to the Nubian village, and they weren't as dark as I thought they would be. Their hair wasn't as kinky as I thought they would be.
What part of
So,
Egypt did you go to? Because there must be different areas again.
Yeah, went up and down the Nile. Went to all the spots, all the temples, Ramesses, Hatshepsut, the major museum there. Went to the pyramids. Went to the Sphinx.
Damn, you went to Luxor. You went to Aswan.
Yeah, we did all that.
Luxor.
Yeah, did all of that. Yeah.
Luxor, it must have been great, huh?
Wow.
And no, because it smelled like urine. It was a lot of trash, and it smelled like urine. Yeah, it wasn't great.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
It smelled awful. Yeah.
Is it the Nile River smell bad or what?
No, the Nile didn't smell bad. But around the pyramids, yeah, we went to the step pyramids too. Did a whole thing. I think we was out there 14 days, maybe 10 days, something like that. I traveled with a well-known person. I'm not really gonna say it because
Yeah, I know what you mean.
On these streets. But yeah, I went with people that's what they study.
I got you.
Yeah.
Right. How did you find the food? I spoke to a gentleman yesterday. He'd been.
You went in this temple?
Yeah, so we traveled with some sisters that actually got to go in there.
That's
and
okay.
They went to replicate a dance that was on the walls. Who were they? Renetet. They did a whole like serpent dance thing. They were dancers, so that's what they were doing. We got to travel with Chester Higgins. He was a photographer for the New York Times.
Okay.
So because I was able to go like as his assistant, even though we were part of a bigger group. We got into some places other people didn't. But yeah, this and VB, this was like, so that was my first passport stamp. That was 2004.
Yeah, but that's starting
2002, 2004. It was early 2000s when I went.
Yeah.
I don't remember all the details. It was long ago, but I remember walking away like, I was disappointed. I ain't gonna lie.
Damn. Yeah, because if you go with expectations, that's hard to, that's always kind of a setup. If you would have maybe just went without much knowledge or much, particularly, I guess, around the topic of, African ancestry, and then you show up there and it's like, nope, it is sad. It's a colonized place. I mean,
yeah,
I guess
it's very sad.
Yeah.
But also, like, even meeting the folks from the Nubian village, it was. I was like, what is this? I was like, where are Africans at?
Oh, because you didn't.
I was like, where?
You didn't meet the other Nubians. You didn't meet the other Nubians.
I met them as them as the Nubians. They, they look like Indians to me. East Asian, the Asians, they look like that. Their skin tone, that kind of brown with straight hair.
Wow.
Weird. It was weird. I was like, this ain't it.
Because they call themselves. So in other words, the Egyptians, because there's Nubians all in that region. Like there's Sudan, more Nubians in Sudan, right, than in Egypt. I would expect, right? more Nubians in Ethiopia than in Egypt now, I would expect too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that about right? Or
you said there's more.
There's probably more Nubians I would expect in Sudan and in Ethiopia, right?
I don't know.
Or Sudan at least, maybe not Ethiopia,
Yeah, I
but
would have said
Sudan.
Sudan.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't
that's
know.
another
I
area
ain't been
that's
following them.
has had a large influx of Arabians.
Yeah, that too.
I think
But
at the time, so let me say this. At the time, because it was my spiritual practice, it was like, oh my God, yes, I got to take pictures inside, and we got to get inside the sarcophagus. But when we did get to certain points, I was like, wait, where the Africans? Where my people at? Like, I really was mad disappointed. I was like, y'all take us to the real Africans. What are you doing? Like, who are these people? What are y'all? What are y'all?
Right.
I
There's a
was
contradiction
ignorant.
there.
I was ignorant. But it just didn't. I was like, where we at?
Right. Because you're in Africa.
Yeah, exactly. So even it's interesting though too. Like even when you go up towards another trip I went to Israel, and you can go like the first. I wonder, are you going south? Like you could where you could hit. There's a border to Egypt, but on the Israeli side, there are still little like temples for Hatshepsut, which is interesting. I found that interesting.
What on the Israeli side?
Yeah.
Where the hell is this at? Up here?
So let me see. And I gotta remember. So it's been. I don't remember when did I go there. I gotta pull my passport and look and see. But when I did the Bible Land tour, they was like, "That's Egypt right there." I was like, "Drive closer," so I could say I've been to Egypt when I was in Israel too. But yeah, like along the border, right before you get to Egypt. When I say right before, like maybe like a minute or two is the border from where that temple was. There's a little temple up there for Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut.
Kadesh Barnea. Kadesh. It's called Hatshepsut.
I remember seeing just the village is called that.
Should I just call it Hatshepsut Israel? Think that will come up?
Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna make a cup of tea. Sorry, ABT. I missed that. I might have to get you to replay. I'm just gonna make a cup of tea.
Yeah, okay. You good?
Sorry.
No worries. Oh no, that's on the Egyptian side. Okay, damn, that wasn't right. Wow.
No, I'm sorry. Not Hatshepsut. It's who's the cow? Is it Hathor?
Oh, you talking about Hathor, right?
Hathor. That's it.
Yeah. Let me see here. Hathor Temple, but I don't think this must be in Egypt still.
Yeah, that's probably still in Egypt, but like.
Oh no, that's Saudi Arabia. Hathor Temple.
And I ain't never been there. In Israel.
No. This is Egypt.
Okay, so yeah, you see where? Okay, so that I guess it was more the north, because you see where Israel is, right?
Let me bring this down a little bit. Right, this is Egypt too.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Yeah, so it borders it. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So it's the Hathor Temple, or it's closer to Israel here.
It's on the Israeli side. It's on the Israel side.
Oh, it's on the Israeli side. So what?
Yeah, because I didn't cross the border. But I said, get out of here. And you know how your phones change. I definitely took pictures, but I don't know where any of this stuff is now. You talking over 20 years ago, probably?
Yeah, you got to get those pictures. Wow, they're probably some very nice pictures. I'll tell you that much. I would like to see those.
I went to Dimona, where the The other Hebrew Israelites are. They don't. They're not the same as the ones out here that be like Reed, brother Reed. They not them. They don't consider themselves the same. Like the ones that be out here with the tassels and stuff, they wear tassels, but they don't think that they should have gone back to Israel. So the Ben Ami people was a different. Like they have a lot of businesses. Soul Veg, DC. Remember Soul Veg? They had Soul Veg. I think that's still there. They had a health food store. I think that's still there.
Hold on, what are you talking about? Where?
So the
Soul
black
Veg in
Hebrew,
DC?
the black Hebrew Israelites that live in Dimona, Israel, own the restaurants in the States.
Soul Veg, a restaurant called Soul Veg?
Yeah, Soul Vegetarian.
Where was
It
that
was
located
right
at?
off of
What, Georgia Avenue or something?
Georgia Avenue. Yep.
Was it Georgia?
Yep, it was Georgia Avenue. In the health food store. Was it let me see. Well, I
I
don't know
think
if
this is
I
the place
search.
you're talking about right here. Timna Park.
You found it?
I think this is where the one you're talking about.
Where is so I rented a car when I was there too. I rented a vehicle in Israel. And I had somebody from Dimona driving me around. Well, I drove, but they knew the area. Yeah, so I was in the River Jordan. It was in the Jordan River. I
Yeah,
got in
that's
there.
wow.
I got in there.
River Jordan.
Beersheba. I was all over that place.
Was it the Jordan River?
Mm.
Nah. The River Jordan's
I
in
was
Israel.
up and down Israel. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, it's here. It's here. Here we go.
It goes all the way down. So there, I absolutely went there. I was in Tel Aviv. I was in
Yeah, this River
Dimona.
Jordan goes a long way.
I
All
was
the
in
way out here.
Dimona. I went to the Dead Sea, or they call it the Live Sea there.
Okay.
We went to there go Beersheba. There we go. Go down.
Down here?
Beersheba. You see Beersheba?
Yeah,
I was
Beersheba's
there.
here.
I was there. Yep, I was near the Gaza Strip.
Okay.
Did you go to a kibbutz?
No.
And I think this is the place you were somewhere down here, or wherever that. Whoa. Oops.
Yeah, wherever. Yeah, and I don't remember specifically, but I do because around that time I was still into the comedic stuff. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's Timna Park. That's where that
The
that's
temple
interesting.
was
That
for
is so.
Hathor.
You know what? Yeah, Timna Park. That's where it is. And you know what's so funny? It's because people don't even think of this anymore. When we think of Egypt, we don't think of this area.
Right.
We don't even think of this.
You don't think about that, right?
But the
right.
reality is that some of these temples were here. Some of these were this was populated.
Yep. Yeah. So when I was in Egypt, we were in Cairo. We were everywhere. We did go to Luxor. We did the Nile. We went up Ramesses Temple. We did that. Hatshepsut. We did that. The Dendera. We did that.
Damn. How much did that cost? A lot of money. That trip.
I didn't have to pay that much. Which one? The Israeli trip or the?
To either one. Shit.
Yeah, no, listen, I flew buddy pass out there and back. On the way there, I got to fly business. They would get a seat in business, so that was cool. I flew coach on the way back. It was still cool. I flew buddy pass out there. And I didn't stay in resorts. I stayed with people that lived out there. And because when I went to Egypt, I was going as an assistant to somebody. I was able to go at a discounted rate, so I didn't pay that much to go.
Fantastic.
And usually when I travel, I don't really like to do the touristy stuff, but the Egypt trip was a touristy thing, but with a black, comedic thing. So it was all
How did you find the Gaza Strip?
So I had to get, well, I went there and I stayed, well, no, okay. So I went to a city near there and we left early in the morning. And right after we left, the strip was being bombed. The strip got bombed. And my mother was like, oh my God, and you're over there.
She must have been
Damn.
petrified. Oh no.
That is deep. That's
Wow.
exactly why I don't go. Not trying to end up in no. And that maybe that's my fear. That's so crazy to have a fear of something like that, you know. But yeah.
Where's ABT gone? She's gone,
I don't
VB.
know, man. She just hopped down, but I was just checking this out. Let me switch over to
Yeah,
here.
so she's been to the Gaza Strip as well. Wow. What a great conversation there.
She's
Amazing.
traveled a lot, yo. She has traveled a lot. Definitely. Look, shrine of Egyptian goddess Hathor at Timna Valley, southern Israel's open air shrine dated to the 13th, 12th century BCE. Yeah, built by the Pharisees. Let me see. What does it say here on the top? Built during the reign of Pharaoh Seti I
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the 14th century BCE. That's BCE, therefore. Egyptian BC minus a shrine house, or occupied courtyard. So, wow. I wonder why there's no pictures of this one.
What area is that? Is that in the Sinai Peninsula?
Yeah,
I
Timna
see
Park.
that you were showing the Sinai Peninsula. Remember you was talking about that earlier. That's where Israel controlled that area, sort of thing.
The Sinai at one time.
Mm.
Now they don't. It's an
Oh no, her phone died. Oh man.
Oh, that's what it said? That's what she said? Look at this. You see this?
Yep, go on. Right, okay.
Rock drawings. Ox drawing chariots. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Can you click that? Can you click that image so we can see a bit bigger? That one. Where is? Okay. All right. Okay. So you're right. Yes. It's like an engraving.
Mm-hmm.
Rock carving.
Yeah, these are some very simple rock carvings, though. I wonder about this. I mean, this is almost unfamiliar in terms of, I don't know if I've seen anything like this. This is interesting, but let me go back and see what else is up here. Close this down. Is there another photograph in here somewhere? Okay, that would be here. Oh, this is the shrine right here. This is interesting. And
Okay,
it was all
so this reminds
covered
me
up.
of the Nubian. When I saw a Nubian burial site in the British Museum,
Right.
and obviously the Egyptians buried differently, and the Nubians was a similar thing like that. It was like a it was like a it was similar to that kind of setup, you know, and they had like vases and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was a shrine.
Yeah, Shrine of Hathor.
Hathor. Hmm.
Yep.
What did Hathor look like again? Oh yes.
The holy cow, man. The holy cow.
That's the holy cow, right? Okay.
Yeah, Hathor. Yeah. Also, what's the other name for Hathor? I forget. Damn, why am I not remembering that? Het Heru. I'm sorry. There it is. Het Heru. That's the other. People call it Hathor, but it's also Het Heru. That's the real name. Sorry,
right.
that's I almost forgot. Why? How could I even forget that, man? Let me just type that up here instead. Het Heru. Let me see. Het Heru. There we go. But actually, she seems to be what's do they even have a wiki page on Het Heru? Or is it only on Hathor? Yeah, that's so funny, right?
Right.
They want to write it as Het Heru for some reason. I mean, as Hathor. They don't
But they
have it
won't.
written as
Right.
Het Heru. That's so weird.
Well, that's a biased.
Yeah.
A bias, and that what I covered earlier. That's one of the fears of AI, the biased view. That's amazing, there, isn't it? Never Moon.
These people are like, these aren't black. They're not black people. So,
she's charging her phone up, VB. Be careful. She's coming
these
back.
are Asians, man. These are Asians. These are
Indians. She called them Indians.
They're not black. Whatever you say, they're not black. Right? So, they be tripping.
Oh, that was Chief.
Here it
Chief
is right here, buddy. Here it is. Het Heru.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So that was another representation of Hathor.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Het
Okay. So
Heru.
that's the holy cow.
Exactly. Yeah. The holy cow.
So I can see she had the same headdress, the cow horns, and the red disc. Was that the sun? The red disc inside.
The red disc up here. Let me go back up. Yep, it is.
So that would be the representation of the sun.
Yep.
And who was the sun again? What was the sun? Was that Ra? Was the sun Ra?
Heru. Was the sun Ra? Yeah, I think so. You could actually say that here. Let's look. Let me look this up. My fault. Wow. Let me see here.
My knowledge of Egypt is really limited. I need to. It's so much to look at. It's so overwhelming when you see so many dynasties. You just don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
But I must get myself an Egyptian book. I've got a certain history, but I don't know it in depth. And I would like to know a lot more. Story
First,
of Ra.
you see, it called the first king of Egypt.
Right. Okay.
Right? He's the sun god, right?
Right.
But you could say, let me see. Hold on, let's open this up. I want to see what else is. Here we are. Fourth dynasty. Right. The pharaohs began to see themselves as Ra. Yeah, that's a little. Let's see here. New kingdom. Right. Ra Horekti. Exactly. And yeah, the Egyptian month is named Amun, right? Ron Amun and Ramses, and the tomb of Ramses, right?
Ra and Amun. Okay.
Yeah, one of the more popular guys is Ra, the sun deity. But let me go back here. What is that? Okay.
And you also had
and
the
you see,
holding it. All right, so you've got.
I just wanted to tell you all that this right here, this person originally looked like this, but they put on red ochre just to, symbolize something else. So this is not a black person. Okay? Nah, I'm joking, man.
Someone used a red marker, not red ochre, a red marker, a marker pen. I went over the light skin,
Yeah, they took a red marker and went over the beautiful light skin. This is symbolic. It's only symbolic, this ochre here, this brown color. Okay? Now, anyway, yeah.
Man, you do a really good impression there, man. Trust me. That's brilliant. Yeah. That's brilliant. Well done. You sounded just like him,
using
man.
my dry humor now. So that's the only way you can win some of these days. And these days are some strange days, man. Let's see here. But I like this is a really nice. This is so nice, man.
Yeah.
So nice, man.
That's beautiful.
And this is also
try and do one of the that's the afterlife, is that?
Mm-hmm.
The boat for the afterlife.
Yep.
So that would be in the Book of the Dead.
Traveling through the underworld, yep.
Traveling the underworld.
And the sub-terrestrial now, yep. Book of Gates.
Book of Gates.
KV-16.
Ramesses.
Damn, let's take a look at that. God damn.
Yeah,
Yep. It's located in the Valley of the Kings in Egypt. It was used for the burial of Pharaoh Ramesses I of the 19th dynasty. Burial place was discovered. Yeah, damn.
And
Yeah,
just how the colors remained over the time is just amazing. I don't know if it's the environment in Egypt, but the whatever paints or pigments they were using also shows the skillful level of it as well. To last how long, it's just truly amazing.
Yep. Definitely. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that was interesting, man. We got off track, started talking about World War IV and shit. Now we up on this fab. Now we inside of Egypt.
The war's over, VB. We've missed it.
But that was my experience. They were, yeah, I understand you. Like darker skinned Arabs. Yeah, I understand you. A bit tired. I mean, yeah, sadly enough, I believe truth is evident. That's what I believe. You know, a lot of it's hidden, but there's one layer that's always evident. You know, because you can't fake just how people what you feel from people. But maybe sometimes it's the feelings aren't so important. You know, like sometimes the feelings. I mean, I know I'm being devil's advocate here, but sometimes the feelings can be in your mind. You know, like Jade. Look, he went to the U.S. and the lady was like, "Hey, you," and he was like, "Oh hell no, I'm out of here."
She was
You
like,
know?
yo, and she must have thought I was ignoring her, but I didn't, because I didn't know anyone in New York. VB, my eyes were like this. Is she talking to me? Right? So, and then the worst part of it, VB, I just had one cigarette taken off me, you know. So I was sort of the bitch of the community now, you know, the soft English boy that everyone's gonna take advantage of. And she started to curse me, VB. She called me the MF, and she said, "Well, you know, F you anyway." And she had this sort of attitude. I was like rotted. I was like, wow. And obviously, me running down the steps 5 at a time as ABT kindly reanimated for everyone. But VB, what could I say? What could I say when the person that's with me is saying that to me? I've met I'm talking to a white guy on the train. Everything was fine. We got off the train, and the guy took like 2 steps back when I went to shake his hand.
Yeah.
And he did shake my hand. He came back and said, he shook my hand and he said, "Really pleased to meet you." Okay. And I was having a conversation. He was asking me about where I was from and stuff like that. I can hear that you're from England, you know. So I was having a really good chat and was talking about where he lived. He was telling me where he was living. They were boating in the summers. He lived near Far Rockaway, but they were by the water there. So they had boats. So I was really interested in listening to what he was saying. So it's only when I turned to Indiana and I said, "Indiana, what was that all about?" He looked like he was a bit scared. What happened to him? She said, "Oh no, we don't really talk, you know. We so you know." But I mean, you know what? She's 100% probably right about the multiculturalism. I just feel that what's going on in London is not really like that. I mean, okay, we can say New York as well. So that's just 2 places. But across the world, you would find it very hard to find something like that. And other countries are experiencing immigration at now. But you know, there will be
decades behind places like New York and London. Maybe if I said that, maybe it would be.
Hey, yo, you trying to play me, son? Wait, what's really going on?
Oh no, you're not back, are you?
You trying to play? Not you. I'm
She
talking
caught
to
you
DB.
again.
I'm talking to you.
Oh,
They
me?
wasn't. Yeah, I heard you. They wasn't African. Listen, listen. They ain't had no asses, no hips, no lips, no
Maybe you
nothing. Like
just felt that way at
where?
the
No
time.
lips.
Maybe it was just
What
how
do
you
you?
felt.
There's a feeling. Don't play with
Outrageous.
me. Have you been there?
Outrageous.
Have you been there?
Nope.
Okay,
But
No
now
saggy
you gonna
trousers.
try to play me
I'm just
on what
talking
I
shit.
saw.
Maybe
No
Listen,
blood
no, they
spots.
took us to the Nubian
No
village where I saw
blood.
no fucking African features at all, and I was mad as fuck because I was like, "Why you got these invaders in my face? Where my people at?" I was disappointed.
I'm gonna play Chief X for the moment and say maybe it's just how you felt.
Don't listen. Don't even do that. Don't even do that. I know y'all guys don't do that.
You sure your
Don't do
looking
that.
ship ain't off? But that wasn't off that day. Your looking ship, you sure?
My
You know-
looking ship.
Yeah.
I ain't go. You know what though? There was something in the museum though that had my eyes on fire. Like I had to get out of there.
Oh, really? What was that?
I don't remember that. It was. I just couldn't. I couldn't be in there. I was like, oh my god. I was like crying. It was a lot going on. I had to get out of there. I had to
think
get
it's a
out of there.
spiritual moment. I think for African
Don't try to.
Americans.
Don't try to interpret.
No,
No, I didn't.
no.
I didn't have that. I did
Oh,
not
you
have
didn't have
that. Did not
You
have
didn't
that.
have a bad moment, like.
You said a spiritual moment. I did not have a.
Well, I mean, like, because what I heard, right? Some of my I got a couple of Ghanaian friends, right? That they told me that they seen some African Americans, for example, come back to Cape Town in Ghana, right? But is that the one castle there? They have one, right? They have more than one, but I think the most
What's
popular.
the is it Elmina?
Huh?
Which one is it? Elmina?
I
Slave
forget.
Castle?
I forget.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but when
yeah.
they touch down, they have an experience. It wasn't the same. I'm trying to tell
Okay.
you, like there was no anchoring and connection. There was none of that. It
Okay.
was not the same for me.
But you
I
didn't
was
feel like.
honestly, I was disappointed. I was, especially when we went to that Nubian village. I was like, what?
But was you haunted? Was you haunted? Like, damn, there used to be Africans here, and now there's none. Was it haunting like that?
Yeah, yeah. It was. I was just like, I felt like it was invaders there. I was like, these ain't the people.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, these are not the right people.
And they all know it,
and
but
again, because of the
everybody gonna
disrespect,
pretend.
they had
Yeah.
mad. If to me, it was like mad disrespect. It was like Coca-Cola cans around the pyramids, and it smelled like mad urine. Like, why are people peeing at the pyramids? Why are you peeing on the disrespect?
Wow.
It was awful.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then where's Tar? Because Tar know they got a ritual where they pee at the pyramids. All the presidents go and they wear Where's Tar? I know he know. I know he know about that ritual.
That's funny, Tar.
They whip it out and pee at the pyramids.
Oh, don't get Tar started.
Where's Tar? He know what I'm talking about. What's that ritual called, Tar? Come on.
They do wee-wee.
He know.
They wee-wee.
They whip it out and they pee at the pyramid. They all surround them. There's some ritual. York used to talk that shit. When he was going over the Masons. The Masons, the Masonic.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm
the
like,
VP out. You up here trying to play me though? Listen, you had me down chat boxing. You're not showing my shit. Okay.
You sure?
I hate that. What?
What you mean? Oh no, I can't show them that shit right there. You wrote.
Yeah,
in the
right.
back chat.
Not the back chat. I'm talking about I'm chat boxing in your chat. Like, yo, I know you're not trying to play me tonight. These people right here, they ain't African.
So
you talking about caramel complected people. I mean, technically they're African because you're in Africa, technically. But when you look at them, you don't get that those. Yeah, you don't get that they're the people we talking about. They're not it. That's not it. No affinity. No connection. It's like Arabs.
Yeah. pretty much.
Right.
A couple of doses, a couple of waves after
multiple. So you saying they've been Arab whitewashed to that?
I think they heavily. I think you know, when you look at the, don't get me wrong, because
that's a whole phenotypical change.
Nah, but I think when they talk, when some of the stories you hear about the DNA, when you hear about the DNA, you will see like that. Yeah, there's in Africa, there is for a long time, like like I was pointing this out to Chief X, that a lot of the people he called Negro, right, and even in sub-Saharan Africa, have this DNA in them, right?
It is, but you know what? When we think about the Doga and Zamali, they still look the fucking same.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like they still look at them people ain't changed. True. Like that much, you know. So I get Africa's diverse, but you talk yes, it is diverse. Sub-Saharan Africans look different than them folks up there. I get it. I'm also just saying, like, nah, come on. Hey, where are my people at? Like, I swear to God, them ain't it. I don't have an affinity to Arabs. I don't.
You sure they wasn't inside smoking a blunt, maybe?
They might have been. They might have been. I ain't gonna front. I saw I did see an African cab driver. They ain't got no traffic lights out there.
Cab drivers everywhere.
I did see an African. I did see an African cab driver. I don't think he lived in the Nubian village though.
Okay.
And I thought specifically because we were going to the Nubian village, I was looking for Nubians. I was looking for.
You was on the hunt.
I was like, okay, bet we going. Because we was around too many Arabs. For me, it was like, what the where's all these invaders?
You mean you went to Egypt and scared away all the few black people that were there? They all ran. They all ran into the desert.
I scared them away. What do you say? I scared them away.
They weed on the pyramid before they ran away.
It didn't smell like ganja. It smelled like urine.
Okay, Arab weed. Arab weed.
Yeah, but it's
awful. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, they don't clean
right, that's what I'm saying. Like the stewards there, them people don't care. They don't. It was filthy. It was filthy.
That, especially Cairo.
Yes, in Cairo. Yeah, filthy.
Rubbish everywhere.
Yeah, and especially around the pyramids. That hurt my soul when I tell you I was disappointed. I was like, "What is going on? What?"
That's a disrespect, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, in any other country, the area would be, cleared of all that stuff. Would be a heavily, not policed, but would be, security and making sure, because obviously stuff like that, especially like urine, would affect surfaces, which can be quite strong, urine.
Listen, I felt like I was on a pissy elevator somewhere. You know what I mean? I felt like I was on a pissy elevator somewhere.
Even in the elevator, they're taking out their thing and giving it a good hose.
They don't clean them pissy elevators. They don't clean pissy elevators down. And if they try to, they still can't get rid of the stench. A pissy elevator when you've been in one. I felt like them people was playing in my face. I said, "Where my people? Why you hiding? Where the Africans at? Like, what happened? Like, where the black? Where are we?" I was mad.
But nobody told you. Nobody gave you that. Like
they didn't. No, they didn't. And you got to remember, I was also very. Well, you don't got to remember it, but that was over. That's gonna be hitting 20 years. Yeah.
You said it was 2000, didn't you?
Yeah, 2004, I think.
Okay,
2000, maybe between 2002, 2004. I can't remember. I got to pull my passport to look and see. Or my old joint. I got to pull the old one.
So
did they wee on your passport when you got there, or?
Oh.
Did they wee on my passport?
No.
Did you just ask me if they peed on my shit, bro? Is that what the fuck you just said? Did you just ask me that for real? What'd you say, BB? Who's peeing on my passport? Huh?
I was gonna ask something else.
I'll pee on your passport before anything. Okay? I'll pee on mine. I'm peeing on yours.
I bet it smells like roses.
But when you left there, did you ever think about going back?
I did. I did want to go back. I wanted to spend more time. I don't like because I went. It was touristy. I don't. Even though it was a black group, black
Right.
group of comedic folks, I still felt like it was touristy. I wanted people that knew the metal nature, that knew the language to be able to talk to us from what they
That's right,
understood and knew.
Angelica. She went back. No, I'm joking. Go ahead. Keep going to
But
Bataille.
no. But I wanted our own perspective, but we had a tour guide from there that they had a relationship with for years because this group they go every other year or something like that. They go often. So
Damn. Well, you've been around. You've been traveling for a minute. That's great because you can even
but
travel to places.
I haven't traveled since I had my daughter. I haven't traveled.
All right.
She's 7 now.
Oh, nice.
So it's been a long time.
So, what's the blackest country you've been to then?
Yeah. Outside of Egypt.
Right.
Yeah.
Not Egypt.
That wouldn't have been it for me.
Yo.
New York.
It would
Or was
not
it
have
down
been it.
south, maybe?
The States.
Yeah. New York.
States. Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yep. ATL, all of it.
ATL. Wow.
DC used to be Chocolate City back in the day. So
Yeah, it used to be.
So and I haven't been to like Ghana or anywhere like that. I was gonna travel to Nigeria for initiation, but the money was crazy. And so it's another conversation. It's different. So I was gonna go, because I was at one point heavily invested in IFA. So I was looking at that tradition.
Yeah,
I was looking at that
traditions, different people's beliefs,
But yeah, it wasn't. The money was too much.
Okay.
But sometimes you can just travel for fun, though. I mean, it doesn't have to be all serious. I mean, sometimes, what about just the nature?
What are you talking about? Nature what?
Yeah, just like a place with great nature. Like maybe don't have to have anything else special than that, than just like really great nature.
Oh.
Have you been to the Grand Canyon or anywhere like that in America?
Yeah, that's funny. That's nature too. The Grand
Yeah,
Canyon.
I have. I've been to the canyon. I was just telling somebody.
Right. Wow. Can we just might as well just start with where haven't you been, ABT?
So I haven't been a lot of places in the Midwest. I've only been to like one part of Florida. I haven't like the whole sub-Sahara Africa. I haven't been there. I want to go to South Africa, like for real. But I want to go to South Africa because the house music is banging. Like that's why I want to go.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
The house music is
incredible.
The house music is incredible. So I would love to go there for that.
Do they
My girlfriend already went.
House, or do they make their own house music?
So it's a blend of like ours, but it's got that African.
Jelly's got the cat on the grub.
I mean, Jelly, your bigger than mine.
Done by the RSPCA
I love it.
With images
She
like
can't
that.
listen. She came up with the biggest spliff, y'all. Look at here.
The cat has got a spliff, ladies and gentlemen. Bigger than mine.
I just came to see if I needed to collect my girl. I just hear a little spiciness up here. I don't know.
No, because he was trying to play me. I had to hit the link like, nigga, what are we talking about? What are you trying to say? What are we doing? No, we're not going to do this. No, but I haven't been this many places I have not been. I ain't been to Geneva. I ain't been to Switzerland, none of that shit.
But you went to Belize, though. I bet you Belize.
Yeah, I lived there. I lived there for just a year, though, not a long time.
That's a long enough.
But you know what? I'm so stupid. I thought Belize was an island. I'm just now realizing it's Central America. It's proper.
Yeah, it's right underneath.
Yeah.
But you got the keys though. You got there are islands there. You got the keys. Key Calker. You got this stuff around there.
Okay, they have Belize have some islands too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, dangerous place, man. The
Yeah, I
whole
heard
of
Belize
outside
is
of Belize
dangerous.
City.
Central
Not dangerous,
America,
dangerous, but I heard it can be dangerous.
gangs. You got gangs. You got. I mean, look, you're gonna have the
I think
cocaine
they
move.
got Crips and Bloods in Belize, don't they?
Yeah.
I ain't never seen none of that bullshit.
Yo.
So I did get to connect with a Garifuna healer there. It was pretty dope. Again, you know, we called it African American memory, like just
Mhm.
tracking all the places Africans have been in the Americas.
It's a lot. It's
There's a
beautiful. I
lot.
mean, the
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
The places are beautiful.
They are.
Central
They are.
America,
So
South America. Whew.
What's
the
happening, Jelly?
Garifuna was like it. You know what I'm saying? They're pretty dope.
Hmm.
I love the spliff, Jelly.
Yo, Jelly,
Come
where you
through.
been? Have you been to any of those places?
To Belize, no.
Mm.
I don't even know all the places that she's been everywhere.
She's been to a lot of
No, I
places.
haven't though. I haven't. I ain't been to Brazil. This
I
is
can
the,
see
you
that you
know,
love
Oh
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I've been
I ain't
there.
been there. I ain't
I've
been
been
there.
I've
I've
been
been
to
to
Brazil.
Ecuador. I've been to Ecuador, but I ain't been to Brazil.
I
I ain't
haven't.
been to Panama. I ain't been, yeah, no, I ain't been everywhere. I
Well,
ain't
I
been to
heard Panama is
Honduras.
beautiful too.
Go there.
I heard Panama is really nice,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
seems
heard it was nice
nice.
too.
Yeah.
I ain't
nature-wise.
been to Peru. I have not been
I want to
everywhere.
go to Peru. That's one of the places I do want to go.
Yeah, I want to go there as well. I want to go and see the medicine men over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jay. Let's let's
Go
get in
get
the
my
back chat.
get
Say it
with
right.
me.
Say it correctly now. Say it correctly.
Go smoke the toad.
You want to do that? You want to do that? DMT?
Well, rather that than do any Charlie over there. I mean, that'll probably
What's
kill
the
me. But
Charlie? What's
I
the
mean,
Charlie?
Yeah, he's talking that British street shit. Yo,
What's
what you
that?
talking about, man?
What's that heroin? What you
Yo,
no
talking about?
coke. That's where I mean, Peru's. They got the cocoa leaves, didn't they? You know.
Oh, well, coca leaves and cocaine is different. But okay.
coca, it's legalized, man. Coca leaves, coca tea, it's
Right.
Yeah,
legalized.
because you're not, but you're dealing with cocaine, a constituent of a whole. You know, you got the concert when you got the leaf. It's different. And I never had it, but I understand that it's not the same as cocaine.
Right. And also they're Mayans, aren't they? Or Aztecs or something?
Mm-hmm. Mayans, yeah.
Right.
All of
So
that.
all that. So it's yeah. And I think they're very great people as well. You know, I don't think there's many black people in the Southern Americans. They more look more like
Brazil,
like
a lot.
Yeah, Brazil was
Colombia,
the
a lot.
largest. Yeah, the
Yeah.
largest number of Africans went to
in Brazil.
Brazil.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
Brazil, and then Colombia might be number 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, if Jay gonna get scoped if he go to Colombia. They gonna
Hey, they're gonna
blow
get
that
his ass.
powder on him.
You said
What
they
they
ain't
gonna
gonna
do
Blow
to
that
Hi,
me?
powder on him.
Johnny.
The
they
They
gonna
they
get
cartels,
yeah,
what's
his
they
up,
gonna
ass.
see
Johnny?
you. Like that woman peeked you a mile away. She gonna scope you and you gonna happily give her $1. You gonna find it. She gonna make you
Oh,
pull out your card.
I'm
Go to
gonna
the
say, call
ATM.
me that again, baby. Call me that again, baby. No, I'm ready for it this time. I'm gonna have enough money in my
Oh,
pocket.
What's up,
oh, you
Donnie?
go. Hey,
Hey,
Donnie.
what's up, big brother
Donnie
VB?
with the blicky.
Yeah, we
Let's
just here
go.
chilling, bro. What's going on?
Hey,
Donnie, don't
Johnny.
Donnie
shoot
got
me.
the
Don't shoot
blickies.
me.
No, I
He
just,
got
I just wanted
ammo.
Donnie, I come in
I
peace. I
see your
come in peace,
man.
I
please.
come in peace too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you gotta come
Please,
in peace
Donnie
of
please.
got
this.
the blickies.
Trying,
Boy, he
Damn.
ain't.
trying to bring it back to center. You know what I'm saying? So
I hear
Ooh,
you, brother.
ooh. Let me
True.
go on mute.
True.
I'm going on mute.
Nah, no, you didn't just say that. Uh-oh. Let me go on mute. Go ahead, y'all talk it out. Donnie, what you got to say? So bit tired now.
I got nothing to say. What do you mean? Hey, that's my sister, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad. You know what I'm saying? VB, this is what I wanted to say to you.
Yeah, thank
You
you.
know, it was 2 things
Mhm.
that you do really good is you bring people out, you know what I'm saying, for example, right? Like Dane, right? Dane never pulled up before in these circles. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's other people who's noteworthy as well that pull up now and stuff. That's a skill set that you have, and, you know, and I'll credit it to you being, you know, just the man that you are, and taking some of the stances that you take. You kind of stay, you know, you do you. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to acknowledge that. And
thank you, bro. I appreciate that a lot, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Donnie.
And you know, the other one I forgot. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to say, you know,
yeah. You sure you forgot, man? What was it? You said it was something you wanted to bring it back center.
It'll come back up.
Okay. Yeah, but we started off talking about World War IV, man, and then it changed, and then we got into like travel, and so now we're just like it's Bitai. She's been a lot of places. What about you, Donnie?
Man, I got my passport right here. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Exactly.
Where you been?
I only been to the Bahamas, so you know what I'm saying. I got to put.
Yo, that's a new passport. That's not old.
Wow.
That's a new.
No,
one.
this new.
Yeah, that's new. Okay,
But
I can see it's in really good condition.
I was listening to some guy on the job. He was telling me get the ID as well. So you know, I got the ID inside of this one just in case you ever get trapped or lost or stolen or whatever. But yeah,
right.
That's a good idea.
That's a new thing you can get actually. That ID now. I think it's like the last maybe 5 years or something, 4 or 5 years maybe.
Okay, so
you said the blackest city. The blackest city I've been is really Detroit. But when I was in Detroit, I did get the license because you know Canada's right there.
Right.
So I got my license so that I could go to Canada. I ain't been to Canada though, but I did do it.
Donnie, how did you find the Bahamas?
Okay. Again, you know what I'm saying? Like when I was listening to ABT talk, it seems like she's talking about demographics a lot, right? Just for, you know, reasons she best knows and stuff like that. When I went to the Bahamas, I saw the demographics different. For me, right, I live in Texas. So the majority of the workers and stuff like that are, you know, the general laborers are going to be Mexican folk.
Right.
Okay. And now I'm laying out some groundwork. Before I moved to Texas, I lived in California. California was the same thing. But when I went to the Bahamas, it's black folks doing all the work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I guess we call that demographics, right?
Exactly.
It was beautiful to see.
Yes, sir.
It was beautiful to see, you know. But, you know, yeah, they still under the same laws and rules as everybody else. But that was just my experience. Yeah.
What did you like the most? What was it that you liked the most? Was it like, was it like the people, or was it like the place, or both, or?
It had to be both because, you know, you don't have a lot of time there, right? So you're trying to make the most of it. And, you know, just the people, super friendly. And that's another thing I learned. We are the ones. When I say we, I mean African Americans, right?
Yes.
I'm not speaking for everybody or anything, or, you know, we are the ones that have the attitudes.
Wow.
They have a different attitude. You know, it just, it's just like that.
I can see
that's interesting.
I can definitely have some connection with Donnie there. My time in Jamaica, I was living in the countryside. People call it the bush area. And in the mornings, if you walk down to the shop, people would say hello, good morning. And as you said, you know, you're seeing a black country in progress in work. It's nothing greater than that, you know. I spent some great times in Jamaica. It's one of the most volatile places on the planet at the moment, but when I was there, I had so much fun. and the people are really, really lovely people, you know. So I can see the connection, and I can see how that must have felt really nice to have been in that environment. Thanks for sharing with that, Donnie.
Yeah, no problem.
And I wonder if it's like did you feel like people were relaxed, more
Yeah,
down to earth, maybe?
absolutely.
Okay, yeah, yeah. And I guess at the same time, most of the authorities were like people that look like you or black people, the police, the shop owners, the what was the demographic like? Was there a lot of like European or what did it look like?
The place, no, because like, see, like I was on a tour and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
like, black folks was, when I say black folks, right?
Mhm.
They drove the boat or whatever.
Mhm.
They, made sure, just like from everything, like from A to B, like it was all black folks.
Oh
Some of them
wow.
was college kids and just trying to make their way, and
Okay.
yeah,
Mhm.
it was
Oh
every, yeah,
wow, that is good to know,
all the
man.
way. Yeah, it
Okay,
was.
yeah. So I see what you mean. It was kind of comforting and just
Yes, it
yeah.
was.
Okay, I think as African Americans, we need that experience a lot, man. We need different experiences because I'm not. I mean, every place has some kind of dynamic with people, and conflict with people, and I guess you could say hierarchy and all of these different things. But I think one of the biggest things I realized about leaving the U.S. and not being inside of the U.S. is one of the reasons why people are more relaxed is because there's less guns. Just goddamn the threat, the likeliness of you being killed over a incident that you couldn't fathom. Like what is this? We just had a mass shooting the other day. The dude's on the run. That's a regular thing in the U.S. And I think
Man.
in our brain, it kind of does something to us that puts us on edge, makes us uncomfortable in a way in our own country, like just to be among other people where you have to think like, okay, is this going to go bad? And I
Well,
think when we're in the US, we make it normal
yeah,
because we have to survive
yeah.
in it. It has to, otherwise you can't survive if it
Well,
doesn't
well,
become normal. But when
well,
you leave, you realize everybody else don't have that problem.
yeah. Well, good brother VB, that was something that crossed my mind, that I was thinking about, and I said, I wonder how do VB feel about this. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's a lot of people that take a stance about guns and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
just for the record, you know, um, I'm able to own guns legally, right?
Mhm.
I'm a AK enthusiast,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
it's a
wow.
world's weapon for a reason because it's easy to maintain, it works, so on and so forth. But when I just wonder, what do you think, about this gun control thing and stuff like that? Because to me, it's like I'm an American, I'm an African American, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Don, how do you couch that? Well, I had BB guns under the Christmas tree.
Mhm.
BB guns and a Red Ryder Daisy was the big thing. I'm showing my age right now. That's a Red Ryder BB gun, and then you got the next one was looked like the M16 or something like that. These are things I grew up with, so it was normal to me.
Mhm.
So some people say like this gun culture is normal, and to an extent, this person that was saying that is correct. But what are you going to do when somebody runs up in your house or something like that? I mean, I don't want to be defenseless or
Right.
whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you a situation that happened to
Mhm.
me, and I'll be quiet after this.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh,
One
keep
time,
going, Donnie, man.
and I can't make this up.
You're flowing, bro.
One time I'm gonna tell it right.
Mhm.
So one time I was leaving work, right? I had a job in Austin, Texas, at a frozen food plant,
Mhm.
And right, I do maintenance and stuff like that. That's what I do. But so I was leaving this place, and I was familiar, right? Because that's my everyday. And like, you know, in Texas, like they got just like it's just like everything is straight or goes in a circle. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But yeah, so I know the routes. So I got Pontiac Bonneville, right, and like the '90s little short thing, what they call scrapers in the Bay Area. But I had some wheels on my stuff, and it was a big old pothole. So I and mind you, it's a strip club, right by literally right next to my job. So I'm coming out the thing, and I'm dodging this pothole, and the car, for some reason, behind me didn't like it.
Right.
And this guy, right, because I just don't jump out there on the main, what do they call it? I forget what they call that road, but not a byway. But anyway, it's like, it's like a side road before you get on the highway.
Okay.
Anyway, so this guy jumps out the car, and he's got his hand in his pockets and shit. And I look in the rear view mirror. It happened so fast, and the cops is right behind this guy.
Right.
Okay.
Cops didn't hit the lights, didn't do a damn thing.
Oh, really?
I'm not a good storyteller or anything like that.
Wow.
I ain't lying.
You're doing good,
But-
man. You're doing good.
But when that happened, I said no.
Yeah.
I said no. Hell no.
Well, I think, you know, it's like this. To me, it's like this. You know, the fact that the U.S. is very different in that sense, that it is very unique in that sense. Like it definitely has a lot of guns per person. You know, there's way more guns than there are people. You know what I mean? Like than people could even have. And to live inside of the U.S., it is, in my view, there's some hostilities there that come with everyday life, you could say. And of course, there's a lot of people that know how to navigate that and stay away from the hostility. You know, you adjust to it so that you can minimize
Yes.
the opportunity for hostility. You know, there's a lot of adjusting and a lot of things that come with living in the U.S. too. But I think the problem with that is that in the back of your mind, you know that you know that if trouble comes, it's probably going to come with a gun. I mean, you already, you know, it's already in our minds. Like, we know how people die. We know how often guns are being used. And no matter how good our day goes, we know that stuff still goes on. And I think once you leave the U.S., it's the exact opposite. It's sure there's problems too, but once you leave it, it completely, the odds change, and you could see in how people react. People don't necessarily react nicer to you, but then again, it just made me realize that Americans, we're very nice. We're very like, hello, how you doing? Hello, hi, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, sir. All of this stuff, and it made me think, like, is it because we have guns? Is it like because are we like overcompensating with the niceness because of the violence? Whereas I notice in Europe, man, people aren't preoccupied with being not necessarily nice to
Or
each other.
polite. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very short contact. Everybody want to mind their business over here where I'm at. You know, if they could go through the whole day minding their business,
Can I
they
interject?
would. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So do in Denmark or whatever, do they the everyday person, do they trust their government?
No, they don't trust the government. They don't trust, but there's a thing about, if you have an argument with somebody, you pretty much know it's not going to end with getting shot and killed. If you have a dispute, you know it already that the likeliness, you know, number one, if somebody robs you over here, it's probably not going to be for money. There's none of this pure desperation, robberies. There's, you know, people may argue with each other, but the likeliness of somebody pulling you over in a car and shooting you out of frustration, out of anger, just like being frustrated from, like you said, this little small car incident, it's almost, you would never even expect it to happen. And I don't get me wrong, it could sound the wrong way, right?
Yeah.
It could sound the wrong way, but I also have been outside of Europe and outside of the US too at the same time. And I realized, like, in some of these places, like Central America, South America, I could imagine also Central America. It's like the economy also changes it. People need each other. People, so people, and everybody's not having a gun either, and they need each other. They still need each other. It just, they're more relaxed.
Yeah. For me,
When you
though,
leave, I
VB,
mean, you could feel it. You could feel it. Like, people, they still have problems, but man, I think in the US we fed so much violence.
Yeah.
So it's something there that's just like doesn't let you let your guard down.
Let me say, I'll be quick. Just 2 words. It's based on violence.
That's what I mean, Donnie. I had to tell you, man. I almost swung. I went crazy in my head one time because I almost knocked this white. I came to 1 second to knocking this white lady off of her feet just from jogging. You know what I'm saying? Just from hearing those little feet tick, 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 tick. And my adrenaline just skyrocketed. And I turned around and I was like, it's a lady jogging at 5 a.m, like, 6 a.m, like, what's wrong with me? Like, that should take a long time to get out of your system.
Wrong with that.
Because in the US, shit, you ready to bust somebody's ass. Like,
well, we're living in a very volatile world.
Shoot somebody, it's like you on edge because that the result could also be violence. The what's standing across from you could also be equally as violent, which is insane because you can't. How many incidents can you have like that before one of them pops off?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't. That's just my perspective on it. Like,
yeah,
I think you have to travel though to feel it a little bit. Like you were saying, a little bit at a time. Because even when you talk to UK is not that nice of a place. There's a lot of violence in the UK. In London, there's a lot of violence. So that's why I was saying Jade, when he went to the US, he was already expecting something there too. And it takes time, like the culture shock and things like that, to kind of take time to get past. And like, if you had that experience and like you could feel it in like a week or something like that too, then imagine what 6 months would be, or a year. You might come out of there thinking something you never expected you thought at all.
Well, VB, I was nearly stabbed to death. I made a really bad decision one night. I was in a dark place of my life, and 1:30 in the morning, I decided to hit the road and travel in the nighttime. I ended up being caught up in the middle of a gang war, right? So I had this feeling that something wasn't right. I was cycling down this road, and I thought I saw someone run across the road, but I just thought it was my I just thought I was blazing then, so I thought I thought I was seeing things.
Mm-hmm.
And before you knew it, VB, I had 3 guys approach me, all had knives and masks on, and believe you me, I was stabbed after, and I threw my bike down. I fell off the bike, busted my legs, and then I took off running, left my bike. I climbed the fence, right? I was in such fear. I climbed a huge fence. I ended up climbing over there, dropping again, smashing my knee. I made it to a park, and I stayed in the park for about an hour. And obviously I didn't want to walk back home because in case these guys jumped in a car and was looking for me. And I've never been the same since. I've done gonna start back my Krav Maga again. Some brutal martial arts I want to learn. Would I not carry a knife? I think I would.
I'm just saying, was it white folks was on you or something
No,
like
black
that?
guys. Black
Black
guys.
guy. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I met both of them after, Donny. Could you imagine? I met both of them after, and I still didn't say anything to them. But those guys, I think they're in prison now. But the situation, why it was so scary for me, Donny, right? The first guy tried to grab hold of me. The second guy was behind him. But the third guy was trying to get around me. He was like far away. He was trying to come around behind me. And if he'd have got behind me, I would have been stabbed him up. I would have been dead, Donny. They would have murdered me there. And I'm an innocent party. I've never been in a gang or anything. And that changed my whole perspective of carrying knives.
It sounds like they were trying to rob you. Is that accurate?
Well, I didn't have anything to rob. I think that they wanted to stab someone that night. They wanted to kill me because they thought I was a part of a gang.
Yeah, so
Yep, they would try to kill me.
I mean, I don't know. So it don't take no gun to do that, or
no, that's
I
a
bet
knife.
you probably wish you had a gun.
Oh,
exactly.
Donny, I tell you, if I had a gun, you see, I would have been in such a better position. Because I would have let off something, right? I maybe would have killed them, but at least if I had the firearm, I could have defended myself a lot better. Yeah. Even if I had a knife, I wouldn't have been able to defend myself that better. My martial arts teacher told me I should have used my bicycle. I got pummeled in training that day for letting these three guys get the best of me, Donny. What saved me was one of the guys. The day before, he came in with all bruises on his face, right? What happened? He went into a pub and he sat down with his back to the door, and one of his enemies came in and they beat him up. So the martial arts instructor had us all in the chair, and everybody had to attack the person in the chair, and it was a great day. And after that, the guy went back to the pub. And he sat in the same position, and he was waiting for the guys to come in and attack him. But Donny, keep your gun on you, keep training.
Hey, but Donny,
I'm so sorry to say, but it's kill or be killed out here.
But who was it? Was it a white dude in that car?
It was a Mexican dude.
It was a Mexican.
Wow.
So I see what you're getting at. You're getting at something a little different. Like you're getting at something about
No. I'm just. I'm not. I'm sorry, brother.
No.
I'm not getting at anything. I'm just. I have no control.
Right.
Of this
situation.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But I do agree with you. Like you do try to do things to keep your. Because you know better. You have discernment, and you know. Hey man, this is like, why are you going to go somewhere where you got to carry anyway? So that common sense I do have. But I'm saying this was a freak thing out the blue. Matter of fact, I was fresh to Texas at this time.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I agree, though, man. I mean, I think you got the right idea. Like, typically, you wouldn't go to a place where you even have to think that,
Right.
And I just think that I don't know, it's not just the guns like you said. I think the guns play a part, but I don't think it's that. I think it's like you said, the history of the country is violent. And so we still have a lot of that built up inside of us somehow, like all the people, not just African Americans, but Mexicans too, Europeans too, like everybody, And I just think, well,
that's some military trained.
At some point you want to be able to leave outside of your house and not worry about none of that shit. Just to know that, hey,
BB, everywhere.
I'm out of here, and I'm not worried about. That's the last thing on my mind today. I'm not thinking about anything negative. I'm not thinking about anything going wrong, let alone that just by happenstance. And I think it's hard to get out of that, especially for me. It would have been really hard for me to get out of that coming from a place where you have to knock somebody upside the head sometimes, yo. Like, you know what I mean? That's a hard thing to get out of your system, to know that that's a way to solve a problem.
BB, you see the
It's hard
you see the
to let go of
situation with
that.
the main shooter. You know, when the guy was shooting, that was a situation again where there's people that were unarmed and someone was armed. So if
And he killed a
someone was
lot of
armed,
people. This
in there,
last one killed loads of people, man.
you see, he could have been stopped. You know.
But you know, just to like double down on it, like they were aware of his mental health.
Mental health. Yeah.
So that's number one. And you know, again, it's so embedded in the history. It's like, you know, what was I'm not good with names. I got a memory of a weed smoker, just for the record.
Man, you're doing good, man.
That's what I did in my pastime, but I'm an adult now. I don't do that no more. But anyway, there was that brother who was in the military too, and like
Me either, Donnie. No,
you know, he basically did the same thing. So like what I'm leading up to is like people in the military know this, right? They have their rejects. Everybody can't be a top-notch, you know, Navy SEAL or something like that. But when they try for it and they get rejected and stuff, some people don't know how to respond to rejection. That has a lot to do with it too. You know, and then you have like shows. I mean, what is Gomer Pyle about? He's a reject in the military.
Right.
Sorry about that, but this is what, you know, and he's somebody you make fun of. He's slow, and you know, and you know, is the brunt of all jokes, and you know, they brag about it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, this guy, yeah, it's true.
Very
He was what did they say? They said the guy was a reservist. He was a reservist.
A gun instructor.
Yeah, gun instructor, but in the
Firearms
reserve. I don't even think he was did he even make it to the military at any point?
I don't know. But
I
he
think
made
he
it
was
high
an
enough
army
to be a
reservist.
gun instructor. He must have knew something.
He must have known something though. And he was shooting that gun like he knew what he was doing. But and holding it. So
how do you feel about this? I've always thought about the rise of the black Americans. You know all the guys that came back from Vietnam. Did it increase after that in certain areas where they came back? These guys were military trained, teaching. I mean, just like Jamaica, a lot of the gangs in Jamaica, they found that there's ex-military or policemen or people in the law enforcement that are in the gangs, are sometimes leaders of the gangs, or are they're brought in by the gangs to train the youngsters how to shoot. So with the military, and we have a lot of black people joining the militaries, the UK and especially in the United States. Do you think there is a connection there with the rise in crime, as in gun crime for us?
Me personally, no.
Right.
Me personally, no.
yeah, I think that might be. It's hard to know in the U.S., man. With the U.S., it's a lot of people, and I'm not even sure if they've. I would like to read a study on that in the U.S. though. I definitely would, like the correlation between just military but there is a correlation, man. Guys are coming home, and this may not just be black dudes with the data is speaking about, but just ex-military people that have been to war. They're coming home with PTSD, man. They are likely to have a divorce, you have spousal issues, domestic violence. There's a lot
mental
of
health
things.
problems.
Mental health problems.
Have you ever, Jade? Have you ever seen? Excuse me, good brother BB. Jade, have you ever seen? What was it called? Somebody help me. That
The Wire.
No, not The Wire. The movie with Lorenz, not Black Panthers. The movie with Lorenz Tate.
Menace to Society.
No,
but I think the Black Panthers had a lot of ex-military.
Yes, yes.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah,
Yes,
I seen
sir.
that. Yep.
So that
Great
kind of,
film.
I mean, you know, yes, it's a movie, but it kind of just it gives like, you know, I like it because I think it parallels a lot of different people's lives, and
Right,
it's
okay.
telling a lot of people's journey at one time. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I like things like that, but
I'll have to watch it again, Donnie. I don't think I've seen it for a
yeah.
while, so I will take that. Thank you.
So it was that and Band of Brothers. Band of Brothers is like some older guys, and they go back and try to do a mission, and just little things like that'll give you hints of their thought process. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not saying, oh no, this is not scholarship or anything like that. I'm just saying that these are tales, you know, perpetuated from storytelling, and a lot of it is authentic, right? So you know, if that makes sense.
You see the plot of Dead Presidents. What was it about? What?
Well,
it wasn't with Janet Jackson, was it?
No, it wasn't Janet Jackson.
That's Poetic Justice. Sorry.
Yeah, that was Pac. Dead Presidents is, I forget that sister's name, but it was like Lorenz Tate. You know, the brother from help me with this, BB, from DC, your town. We talked about him the other night. One of my favorites too.
Right. What's the guy's name
The
again?
guy that did Pinky and
right.
Yeah.
Chris Tucker, Keith David, Clifton Powell.
Clifton Powell.
It was
I
Clifton
love
Powell.
him to death.
Yeah.
I love him to
Powell.
death.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love him to death. Just
And Keith
universal.
Woodbine, he was in it as well.
Yes. Yeah. And that's another. He's corny as
Woodbine.
hell, but I like him. You know what I'm saying?
He's a great
got some
actor. I like him.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so you know, it was just about a veteran, just a young teenager, doesn't know what to do with his life, and you got to think about this is Vietnam times, like right, 60s and stuff, and just figuring out life, you know, and tired of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah, just tired of it, and goes off.
Man, but did you know Clifton Powell is 67 years old?
I had no idea.
He is in great shape, man.
I'm telling you.
I thought he was a lot older than that.
I'm telling you.
Man, look at this guy.
Wasn't he in Rush Hour when Chris Tucker goes into the shop?
Yeah, it's a Rush Hour right there. It's a Rush Hour right there.
He's a great actor.
No, for real. I'm not. No. Oh, DC. No, I really like this guy. He's really universal, for real.
No, yeah, he's very unique. He found a unique space.
Yeah, he did.
He went to Duke Ellington School of the Arts.
You know.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
That's in DC, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the premier art school, you could say, there for acting. If you want to do music or acting. I would say acting is the premier art school for actors in DC. But they have some other, you know, I guess there's multiple different lanes you could go in the school. But yeah, for actors, it seems to be a lot of actors coming out of that school. But
there's not much information there. But I'm sure he was in the military. He's got a really a physique, you know. He looks like an ex-military guy, maybe. I'm not sure. Was he in the military at some point?
Look, he grew up in Mayfair Mansions. I didn't know that. Mayfair Mansions.
Where is that? What sort of place is that, like, VB?
And he went to school in Northeast, Carter G. Woodson Senior High. He grew up here, man, Southeast. Look, Mayfair Mansions, man.
Rough neighborhood?
Yeah. Here it is. It's in Northeast. I'm sorry, not Southeast. East of the river, though, right here.
Right.
East of the river, yeah. He grew up not far from me, man. I grew up on this side of the river.
Okay, just over the river.
Can you see this little map?
Yeah, opposite you.
Yeah, and if you look close,
if you click it.
Yeah, if you look close on this thing, you can see he's from here.
Capitol Hill.
He's from this side.
Yeah.
Mayfair Mansions over here. and I'm from this side. I'm from on this side right here.
Right.
Yeah. I'm actually more here, this area right here. So this is just on the other side of the Mayfair Mansions, on the other side of the stadium across the water. Yeah.
Are they similar neighborhoods you lived in? Similar? Or?
They both in Northeast. So they are very similar neighborhoods. All of this is very similar. This area here, very similar. You know,
what gangs are in that
east
area?
side of DC? Huh?
Are they the Black Stones? Is it or something?
Black Stones? No.
No.
It's just the east side. Just the east side of DC. You know.
Excuse me for
yeah.
Family. I got to roll. I got to get my ass to sleep and stuff like that. So
yeah. Good to see you up here, Donnie. Thanks for hopping up, man. Thanks for hopping up, bro. I haven't seen you in a minute too. Yeah. Hey, and if you get a minute, come back tomorrow. The brother's gonna be here from Poland talking about the black population in Europe. So it's gonna be interesting. And he's got a lot of good data too and things like that. So, you know, if you're around, join in.
For sure. What time you said 4?
It's going to be like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. around that time. 2 p.m. around that time. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Okay. Peace, Donnie.
All right.
Be good. Have a good evening, bro.
All right.
One.
Yeah, man, that was a great one. That Dead Presidents. I'll have to rewatch that. You know, some movies for a long time you have to kind of watch them again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when I watched it, I wasn't really aware of what, you know. I'm sure I've definitely seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
And Clifton Davis, he's from.
I mean, one of my homeboys live in Mayfair Mansions right now. He just live right around the corner from Mayfair Mansions. Actually, he's a pretty well known artist, in DC.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see here, Clifton. Yeah, that's my mama, Clifton Powell. He's joking. That's so funny.
Hey, love my fro.
People mixed up.
West
Funny,
Coast.
She's too funny. Yo, love people. Oh my God. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, she got me tripping on that one, man. Yeah. Actually, this is where all the black folk live now in DC.
Oh, really?
It used to be all over. Now it's just over on this side. It's still, you know, don't get me wrong. There's still some pockets here and you know, somewhere.
So mostly it's white. So what's the popular? Is there how much would you say in percentage wise to whites?
Now I think it's the numbers might be half. I can look the numbers up.
Yeah, or I can do it myself. Is it demographics for?
Yeah, the numbers might be half. Let me look at the demographics real quick. Let's do that. Let's say 2 seconds. Let me see here. Google.
Okay, you can have a look.
Yeah. Let me see here. Washington, DC, black population size.
Okay.
Right, now let's see here. Here we go. You see?
Okay, 1 sec. So, yep, I can see you.
So it's down to 39%. And that used to be, when I was growing up, it was 70%, my man.
Wow. So what's happened there? Have white people moved back into these black areas?
Equal. Yeah, now it's about equal.
Right.
Apparently.
And you used to be 70%.
Yep. Black.
So where did the blacks move to?
To Maryland.
Oh.
Basically.
And what reason was that?
Was that outside of DC? You see this line? You see where the white area is?
Yep.
They moved out here to the other side of the line.
Baltimore. Maryland.
No, not Baltimore. Baltimore is north, way north of this. But this is like just Maryland, but just the other side. It's still like, you could say metropolitan area DC. Just on the other side. Yeah, just in the beginning of Maryland. Yeah.
Have you been
Yeah.
to Maryland?
Huh?
Have you been to Maryland before?
Oh hell yeah, of course, man. It's just it's like crossing the street, man.
Oh
It's
really?
not. Yeah, it's just literally a street and a light. You cross it and you're in Maryland now. It's not like
It's not
yeah,
far.
it's not DC is a very small city, so Maryland is to the north and to the east. You know,
Right.
yeah, it's both directions, and Virginia is to the west and to the south. So, as soon as you like this river right here, as soon as you cross that river,
Yeah.
you're in Virginia.
Virginia.
The
Okay.
left, yeah, the left part of the river, you're in Virginia. As soon as you
And
cross over to the other
that's a
side.
tobacco place, isn't it?
Yeah.
That would have
Yeah.
been plantations.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
So it wasn't too far from the Capitol buildings. Right.
Yeah, the Capitol building's close in there. Got a little water inlet close, not too far from it. It's true, man.
Wow.
Not the Capitol, but you could say, well, first of all, if you know the landscape of DC, there's you got the waterways, and then you have the train lines. And
Right,
the train line literally runs like right next to the Capitol. You see what I mean?
Right.
So for distribution, it mattered more for distribution in the older days, but of course the waterways today it's all about truck and transport, shit like that. But yeah, man,
Right.
I mean, it's a small city, so all you got to do is cross the street and you're in Maryland.
Okay.
From DC, and the culture on the east side is pretty much the same, like east side of DC, and that first part of Maryland that you go in is pretty much the
Basically the
similar.
same
Yeah, it
people,
looks
but
different. Yeah,
just
it
the
looks
borders
different.
changed.
Yeah, it looks different, but it does look different because it's not DC anymore. But it's but the people are basically same vibe, same energy, close energy.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
what was
it's
the
not.
reason for them to move? Was it economical reason, or did the rents go up in that
Yeah.
portion?
DC. After 9/11, a lot of government money started getting pumped into DC, and a lot of security. The security apparatus of the U.S. became bigger, right? And so a lot of people flooded the city, wanted to move, but there wasn't enough housing. So the major real estate people were allowed in, and then they just changed the landscape of the whole city. So they really
Gentrified
built
it.
up a
Right.
lot of apartment buildings in DC where
Right.
it didn't used to be, And on the west side, it's southwest area, it's all new. Southwest is all basically rebuilt with new, apartment buildings, right?
Right.
I guess you could say semi-luxury style, and the prices just went up. It forced the prices up because of the amount of money and jobs in DC, and it's one of the highest paid areas in the country. So it just forced everything up, and obviously the black people are not getting the best end of the deal. So
Right.
yeah, they can't afford you if you're not two people, one person. If you're a couple and both of you make $60,000 a year, I think you can survive in DC with $120,000 a year. You can survive in DC, survive.
Right.
But a 2-bedroom apartment could cost you $6,000 in DC, man.
6,000.
Yes.
Bloody
That's
hell.
how high it is, bro. It ain't cheap, man. It's definitely not cheap at all.
So
And
it's not touching New York's rent. What's the rent?
no, it's touching it. It's coming close.
Wow.
But DC and New York, I mean, Manhattan has definitely been expensive. DC is getting up there now, very expensive. It's tripled. DC is tripled the
That's
cost of
another
living
war
in
tactic
20
that they
years.
use on us, AVB. We experience the economical one with black people. across the world, or say Europe or place like America. They just put the prices up, and then it's like ethnic cleansing, isn't it?
Basically for us, because you're always going to be moved or pushed out of your neighborhood or forced to have more changes, always being on the end of the stick where change is required or adjustments are required, and after a while it takes a toll, on people. But yeah, man, this has been the case across the country, and it's so what it is. It's like same outlook across the country in the U.S. For Black communities. In the major cities, they've all been gentrified. So, I mean, I don't want to say all. Maybe there's one or two left standing, but I think when a place like DC go and Harlem goes, places like that, then you can pretty much expect that it's happened in a lot of places. But I don't want to generalize, man. I'm sorry, because I like to use data when I'm really speaking about things this way, because you could be wrong. I mean, there could be areas that are, of course, there's always the ups and the downs, the good and the bad side, man. I'll put it to you that way. Now there's cases where people, now they realizing what they lost. And so people are adjusting to that too, and thinking about, okay, how do we build safe communities for our people now again, since obviously we don't have a choice but to do that. So yeah, man, so some interesting changes coming in the US, I think, but yeah, let's see if we can let's see how far it goes, and how far the change reaches. I suspect it's something coming. That's what I suspect. But what it means for Black folk, I don't know. It's up in the air, brother. It's up in the air.
Well, as we can see with all other things that's happening in the world, we never end up getting the nice parts. We suffer the most. Puts us back decades. Whatever's going to happen.
Well, the good thing about this time is that it's all on TV. Everyone can watch it, so more people get a learning experience from it, because it's televised. It's no secret. Nothing can be a secret unless you don't want to know it these days. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So yeah. But on that note, I'm gonna close down shop, man. It's been nice.
Sure. I'll let you close out, VB. Thank you for having me, sir.
Yeah, much appreciated, Jade, and thanks again to Donnie for hopping up, sharing a little bit. Yeah, that's a good chat, man. We need to do that again. Talk about traveling and what that's like, and how it feels to be somewhere else for a moment, and not in the same environment, and what that does for your mind and your body. And I think it would do miracles for a lot of people, to be honest, just to know that even though everybody has 5 fingers and 2 eyes, typically, it doesn't necessarily mean people approach things exactly the same way. And sometimes that little bit of difference can mean a lot, in how you feel and how you approach things. But on that note, folks, I'm going to be out. I appreciate it again. Everybody coming through, and make sure you come through tomorrow. I've been waiting for a few weeks now for this opportunity to interview my brother here. I had one opportunity to interview him before, and this was 2, maybe 3 years ago, and I did it on I forget what I used. I forget what system it was, and we lost the actual recording. Something was corrupted with the file, and I don't know what happened to it, but it was a good interview. But in any case, I get my second chance now to interview James Omolo, and I think it's going to be fascinating for a lot of people here, because he does know a lot. Yeah, a bit tired. He does know a lot about the population in Europe, and a lot about the laws. And I think it's going to be interesting for us to kind of talk about some of the laws in the EU regarding Black folk and some of the data, and then compare that with African Americans, what some of the data looks like, and also maybe others, you know. So that's going to be happening tomorrow. I had to reschedule. Yeah, let me do that right now, Donnie. Thank you. I had to reschedule a couple of times already, but I did get a warning from him that he's good. He's good this time around. So that is going to be happening. But let me drop the link here. Here we go. Boom. I'll throw that up in here in the chat. Let me see. Stream. There we go. That's that stream. That's going to be here. And the stream tomorrow is called Are People of African Descent, Black People Acknowledged in Europe? And it's going to be very interesting to know what people mean when we say acknowledged. Black Americans know they're acknowledged. You know, we saw that in some data already. We just looked at the data for Washington, D.C. Well, Europe doesn't keep data like that. Not even for equality purposes, not even to know, you know, if a Black person is discriminated against more than others, and if so, how much or how not so. You know, they don't have that kind of data. So that creates a difference in how people feel, you know, and it does nothing for the profile to have no data about your particular group, you know. In other words, almost no profile for Black Europe. So we're going to delve into that tomorrow. I appreciate you guys. I am out. And once again, to all the folks that love the conversation, love is back at you fully indeed. And for those of you that didn't love it, well, hey. See ya.
I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I sympathize. I mean, a lot of innocent people died. The CIA trained the pilots that flew the planes. War is a game like chess. And innocent people get caught in the crossfire. Billions are spent on military defense, satellites and global intelligence, and it don't make no sense. If we take 70% from the rich in taxes, 40% from the working class in taxes, spend the money on education, healthcare, homes for the homeless, jobs for the unemployed, the crime rate will decline. Time for us to start using our minds. America needs reform, social democracy to replace capitalism. Feed the poor, shelter the homeless, and create jobs. It's simple. I live my life in a city, overfilled with crime, intoxicated with pity, suspended in time. Every day it's a struggle between life and death. Gotta juggle with fate before my last breath. It's a test, my only quest to beat the odds. So I hold my own when times are hard. I was dealt bad cars, born broke and poor. The lack of food in my gut got me hungry for more. Growing up in the hood, watching the sunset, a great cloud over my head follows my every step. They say life is a gift, so be happy to live. But life in the ghetto is too negative. Drama in the streets, I can't sleep, I'm hearing gunshots. Flying bullets be making bodies drop. My neighborhood is full of crooks with bad looks, smoking weed, clocking G's, living like wild G's. DC is giving birth to killers, baby mothers on welfare and drug dealers. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want no racist war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Love, peace, war, and hate. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want George Bush's war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Love, peace, war, and hate. Born alone, die alone. God set me free from from this world of agony. Ain't no love in the streets. Another murder occurred. Another brother got shot. Down from one to the dome. Outlined in chalk. Brotherly love is needed. I see our future depleted when brothers die in the line of crossfire. So many mothers cry, feel the pain of a lost one. Only 21. Tell us what should we do? It's on you. Young, black, and thuggin'. This ain't living. My road dog doing 5 in prison. And I miss them. Gotta follow my vision to keep from going under. We all numbers doing time on the block. Ducking the cops. Take a look in my eyes. Tell me, what do you see? The future is dark and we don't have a clue. Mr. Bush, please open your ears and listen. It's a war going on. America is a prison.